We are live now, sir. Sir, your mic is on mute. We are live now.
हाँ लाइव आ रहा है ओके अब गुड इवनिंग स्टूडेंट्स आ रहा आवाज आ रही है बोलिए हेलो स्टूडेंट्स आ रही है ना गुड टू गो ओके गो लाइव चलो फोन चलो लाइव लाइव ओके एक दो मिनट लाइव हेलो स्टूडेंट्स So now we are going to discuss today's chemistry paper, which was very conceptual and very interesting questions are there. So you will love this discussion. So let us continue. So question 46. Identify the paper agent for the following conversion. So you can say a paper is getting converted into hydrogen. This is used specifically for reduction of nitriles into amines to bring the R state triple bond N into imine. R डबल N तो नाइट्राइल को इमाइन में कन्वर्ट करने के लिए यूज करते हैं और दूसरा होता है R C डबल बॉन्ड O R into R C double bond OH. That means as ester is converted into an aldehyde by this divalent H. I have put here hydride. So which option? Option 4. Okay. This was question number 46. Right? Then yes. Question number 47. The current level of decreasing acidity of the following aliphatic acids. So, among aliphatic acids, in the homologous series of aliphatic acids, as the number of carbon atoms goes on increasing, size of alkyl increases and its clustering effect increases. Clustering effect is related from donating effect, जिसके वजह से acidity कम हो जाती है. तो as HCOOH, 2CH3 COOH, then this is what CH3 twice CHOOH, and then CH3 side C और here COOH. तो आप देख सकते हो पहले क्या होता है अल्काइल हाइड्रोजन only hydrogen is there. Here there is methyl group, then there is isopropyl group, and finally there is sulfur. As the number of carbon atoms is increasing, the size of effect will increase and that will reduce acidity. Therefore, the option is correct. Option 1. Alright. Next is question number 48. Which one of the following reactions does not belong to the Laplace case? Laplace case is for qualitative analysis of organic compounds. And specifically, four elements are related to percentage, molecular, molecular, and molecular. So this is for alluminum and given option 1, then for nitrogen in option 3, then sulfur in option 4. So nitrogen will be option and then 4 they have mentioned sulfur. So answer जाएगा option 48. Question number 49. The rate constant of reaction is 0.03 second inverse. How much time does it take for 7.2 moles per liter concentration of the reactant to get reduced to 0.9 moles per liter? So first of all, order of reaction is not directly mentioned in the question, but they have stated that rate constant is equal to 0.03 second inverse. इसकी यूनिट से हमें समझ में आ रहा है कि it is a first order reaction, right? And then for the reaction or indicated for TP is equal to 2.33 log So answer comes at 69.3. B option C. Okay. Now we have implemented measure for this also. If you observe carefully, we from 7 gives 1 half life process. 3 half. From how much? 3 half life. After 1 half life is the 1 more half life. 0.9. So overall, 3 half lives are passing. And for the first order reaction, half life is always constant. So this total time will be 3 times T half. So 3 into और half life का क्या करना पड़ेगा 0.693 divided by 0.03. This also comes exactly same 69.3 seconds. Which option? Okay. Then question number 15. Yes. So a hypothetical say a hypothetical that means going to be bond order 0 is quite stable. Absolutely wrong. When bond order is 0, molecule does not exist. When bond order is integer, positive integer, then molecule is completely stable, like 1, 2, or 3. It represents single, double, or triple bond. And when bond order is positive but fractional, it is molecule exists but not so much stable. But in case of zero bond order, molecule does not exist. So statement 1 is false. Then statement 2, as bond order increases, the bond length increases. So actually, the bond length is inversely proportional to bond order. Or in other words, you can say, as bond order increases, bond length decreases. Here they have given exactly opposite. So what does it mean? Both statement 1 and 2 are false. So which option? Option number 4. Right? Now, then question number 51. Out of the following complex compounds, which of the compound will be having the minimum conductance in solution? So, for greater conductance, there should be more number of ions produced after dissolving this complex. So, in coordination compounds, two types of ions will be produced. Ones are those which are outside the coordination sphere, and whole coordination entity or that coordination sphere will be produced as a single ion. So on dissociation, this will give us total 4 ions. Right? Here. Now, the next one, this will give us only 2 ions. One is this coordination sphere and another one is counter ion, which will give 2 ions. And other two are neutral complexes. So they will not be conducting at all. So here concept is for minimum conductance, first of all, it should be non-zero. You may say that 3 and 4, both will not produce any ion. So practically their conductance will be zero, right? But in case of 1 and 2, both are non-zero, and out of them, which one is having minimum value? Second. Then we mark option number 2. So try to understand. 3 and 4 we are not going for because they are having zero electrical conductance. Okay? That is 51, then 52. Which of the following aqueous solution will exhibit highest boiling point? So first of all, we can mention here that just a second. Yeah. Delta TB is equal to I KBM, where I is what? Ventos factor, KB is etiological constant, and K is molarity. And this is what? Elevation in boiling point. So greater the elevation in boiling point, greater will be the boiling point also. So यहाँ पे हम देख सकते हैं कि डेल्टा टी बी इज डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू व्हाट? R into concentration, we can say Ventos factor into concentration. So I into concentration. So for each option, we have to calculate this I into concentration. Here we have to do concentration in terms of molarity, right? So यहाँ पे अभी आप देखो फर्स्ट के लिए ये कितना हो जाएगा? I reduce the 3 because Na2SO4 it is 2 Ag and 1 sulfate ion. I will be 3 considering it to be a strong electrolyte which is actually a strong electrolyte into 0.01. This comes out as 0.03. Second case में लिखा हो जाएगा it is a non-electrolyte glucose. R is the 1G item. For a non-electrolyte R is equal to 1 0.015. It is 0.015 again. For third one, it will be what? 0.01 into 1 only because urea is also a non-electrolyte. So 1 into 0.01, it is what? 0.01. And then the fourth one, 0.01 molar, and KMH3 will produce two ions, one potassium ion and one nitrate ion. So I will be 2. So 2 into 0.01. So overall, this will become how much? 0.02. So already we have confirmed that as this I into concentration increases, boiling point increases, so which one is higher? I into concentration, that is 0.03. There's the big option number 1. Okay. Let's see. Yes. Yes. So again, I said the so first one is what? A-butyl iodide, or if you go by hydrogen iodide, you become what? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it is iodobutane, and the other one is chlorobutane. So they are saying iodobutane undergo ascending reaction chlorobutane. So when alkyne will be same, the rate of SN2 as well as SN1 depends on what? Living ability of the living entity. And among four alkynes, what is the order of living ability? It is I minus, greater than Br minus, greater than Cl minus, greater than H minus. This is basically inversely proportional to their, inversely proportional to their basic strength. So ध्यान देने को अभी HR is the strongest acid. So I minus is the weakest base, and being the weakest base, it will be what? Best living group among four alkynes. And similarly, HF is the weakest acid. So H minus is the strongest base, and because of that, it is the weakest living group. You can also say that CF bond is the strongest bond, and that is why it is difficult to break it. On the other hand, CI bond is the weakest bond, so easy to break it. You can go by that logic also. So this is correct statement. That being a better living group, iodobutane will undergo faster SN2 than chlorobutane. और वही iodine is better living group because of its large size. Correct है? So इसलिए आंसर क्या आएगा? ये तो एक iodine or iodine is basically better living group. So both K and K are true, and R is the correct exclamation of A. Correct है? So 53 will be option 3. Then 54. और बेटर एक काम करेंगे थोड़ा सा हॉरिजॉन्टली हम डिस्कस करेंगे पहले 56 कर लेते हैं. Given below are two statements, like nitrogen that can form ammonia, arsenic can form arsenic. So this is about 15 elements. तो हाइड्रोजन के साथ वो क्या बनाते हैं? EH3 टाइप का हाइड्राइड बनाते हैं. अमोनिया का फॉर्मूला क्या रहेगा? NH3. और आर्सेनिक का क्या रहेगा? AsH3. both are correct. And antimony cannot form antimony pentoxide. Now, this group 50 elements form two types of oxides, E2O3 and E2O5 है ना? तो Sb2O3 भी बनाएगा, Sb2O5 भी बनाएगा. They exhibit both valences 3 and 5 with oxygen, and that is why it can form antimony pentoxide. That means what? Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. So which option? Option number 1. right? Then coming to question number 54. First of all, let us erase this out. Yes. So question 54. The oxidation state of the underlying elements in them are respectively. KO2 is known as what? Potassium superoxide. And anyway, potassium or for that matter, any alkali metal always have fixed oxidation state in any of its compounds. It is always plus one. H2O2 is hydrogen peroxide. And in peroxide, what is the oxidation state of oxygen? It is minus one. Usually oxygen is minus 2, but in peroxide it becomes minus 1. And H2SO4 is what? Plus 6. इसमें आप कैलकुलेट कर सकते हो अगर हमें इसकी ऑपरेशन स्टेट नहीं पता तो लेट इट मेट टू बी x तो इक्वेशन क्या बनाएंगे x प्लस हाइड्रोजन की 2 1 होती है 1 प्लस 1 2 हो जाएगी और 4 ऑक्सीजन की हो जाएगी माइनस 8 बिकॉज़ पर ऑक्सीजन इज माइनस 2 तो इक्वल टू 0 बिकॉज़ for a total molecule, total oxidation state of all the elements is equal to 0. So on solving, you will get x is equal to how much? Plus 6. Overall answer क्या क्या है? Plus 1 minus 1 plus 6. So option number 3. Right? Then let us take 57. Ferromagnetism is considered as an extreme form of paramagnetism. So in paramagnetism, the substance is weakly attracted in magnetic field, whereas in ferromagnetism, it is strongly attracted in magnetic field. So that means what? This ferromagnetism is nothing but an extreme form of paramagnetism, which is statement 1 is correct. Then statement is the number of unpaired electrons in Cr2 plus ion and Ndc plus ion we have to compare. So first of all, let us write electronic configurations of these two. So our chromium is what atomic number 24. So it becomes what? Argon 4s1 3d 5. Basically it is exceptional configuration. So 4s1 3d 5. And where it becomes Cr1 2p. Cr2 plus will become what? Argon, first of the electron will go from 4s1 and one more from 3d, it will become 3d4. And if you draw this 3d4, then 1, 2, 3, and 4. That means total 4 unpaired electrons are present, right? Whereas for Nd, atomic number is 16. So this configuration is xenon followed by the xenon have already over 54 electrons. So now how many are remaining? 6 are remaining. This will become what? 6s2 followed by 4s4. Right? It is 6s2, 4s4. Whereas in case of Nd3 plus, first of all, 6s2 electrons will be removed and one more electron will go from 4s4. So this will become what? 4s3. So here you can see there are 3 unpaired electrons in 3 f orbitals. So here A is equal to 3. So they are not having equal number of unpaired electrons, whereas the statement says the same number of unpaired electrons are same, which is wrong. That is why answer क्या आएगा 57. Statement 1 is true, but statement 2 is false. So option could be option number 1, right? Yes. Now 55. It is simple, straightforward. Match the column based on applications given in DI block, and 2 of them are from DI block, 2 of them were coordination compounds. So Haber process is catalyzed by iron, so Fe catalysis. Vacuum process के लिए क्या होता है वैक्टर ऑक्सीडेशन के लिए PDCl2 Wilkinson characteristic is only right there and regular matter catalyst is what PICl would be trimethyl aluminum. So basically very simple one following one to one correspondence already दिया हुआ है. So which option? Option number one, right? Then question number 56. Sorry, 50 is not over. We have discussed this one. Okay. So moving to 56 भी हमारा हो चुका है ना? Yes, all we have done is FP2 वाला ना ये. Yes. Now moving to question number 58. Yes, 50. 58. So, which one of the following reactions does not give benzene as the so first one is a cyclic trimerization of acetylene with acetylene when passed to red iron tube at 873 Kelvin, it undergoes what? Cyclic trimerization and that gives us benzene as the product. Second. So in 58, which one will not produce benzene as the product? So first reaction is sorry. In 58, which one will not produce benzene as the product? The first one is cyclic trimerization of acetylene. So that will produce benzene. Second one is benzene diammonium chloride when warmed with water will produce phenol as a product. Okay. If you have to convert this benzene diammonium chloride into uh, benzene, then it is what reduction of benzene diammonium ion, and for that, two reducing agents are available. Either you can use hydrophosphorus acid H3PO2, or another one is ethanol. But in this one, they have given warming with water, which will give aromatic nucleophilic substitution reaction, and by which this N2 group will be replaced by OH minus, and that will produce phenol as a product. So answer will be option. Third one is soda decarboxylation, right? Soda lime decarboxylation. So that will give what? Benzene as a product as expected. And fourth reaction is aromatization, which is also known as reforming. So when A benzene replaced with either MO2O3 or Cr2O3 in the and supported over aluminum. That at very high temperature and high pressure produces what it undergoes dehydrogenation reaction and gives benzene as a product. So answer comes by the option 2. Then question 61. Which of the following statements are true? Unlike gallium that has a very high melting point, cesium has a very low melting point. In fact, both gallium and cesium have low melting points which are close to our body temperature. So this statement is wrong. Both are having low melting points. Then on Pauling scale, the electronegativity values of nitrogen and chlorine are not the same. This is also wrong. Both of them are having same electronegativity value, which is what? 3.0. Then argon Ar, K plus, Cl minus, Ca2 plus and H2 minus are all isoelectronic species. Absolutely correct. If you consider atomic numbers, argon is 18. Being neutral, there will be 18 electrons. Then K plus, atomic number 19, but due to positive charge, 18 electrons. Cl minus, atomic number 17 plus 1 because of negative charge. Calcium is atomic number 20 because of dipositive cation. There are 2 electrons less. So 18 and S2 minus atomic number 16 plus 2 total 18. So all of them are definitely what? Isoelectronic. Then the correct order of the first ionization enthalpies of sodium, magnesium, aluminum and silicon. So first of all of them belong to the third period of modern periodic table. And as per the general trend, it is expected from left to right, ionization enthalpy should increase. So expected order was this, जो यहाँ पे लिखा है कि सोडियम to magnesium to aluminum to silicon ionization enthalpy बढ़नी चाहिए. But then there is exception between what? Aluminum and magnesium. Because the outermost configuration of magnesium will be what? For magnesium, it will be 3s2, whereas for aluminum, it is 3s2, 3p1. So, from magnesium, electron is removed from s subshell or orbital, whereas from aluminum, it is removed from p orbital. Now, s orbital has greater penetration power than p orbital. That means s orbital or the electrons in s orbital are lying closer to the nucleus, because of which they are more tightly bound with the nucleus, and that is why removal of electron will be difficult from magnesium. And that is why order will be what? Silicon, then magnesium, then aluminum, and then sodium. So this is again wrong. And then the atomic radius of cesium is greater than that of lithium and rhodium. So first of all these three elements belong to group 1, alkali metals. And as we move down the group in any group, generally atomic radius increases. Right? So here atomic radius increases from lithium to rubidium to cesium. Cesium सबसे नीचे आता है. Lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, right? So that is wrong. So our answer will be what? Option C and E are correct. So option 4, right? 61. Then 59. Match the list with this one with this two. So HCO3. So let us draw the structures. HCO3 will be what? HC double bond O, double bond O, double bond O, right? So it is having one lone pair also. So what is the hybridization? Sp3 hybridization, because there are total 3 sigma bonds plus one lone pair. So sp3 hybridization, and geometry will be what? Pyramid, right? Then HCF2, it is having 2 sigma bonds and remaining 3 lone pairs. Out of 8 electrons, only 2 electrons are shared, so 3 lone pairs are there. And that is why its hybridization will be what? sp3 D, and geometry will be what? Linear, right? So for HCO3 it will be what? Pyramidal. For HCl2 it will be what? sp3D and linear. So it is first. HCOF4, HC double bond O, and then there are 4 fluorine atoms in single flame, and there is one lone pair also. So in total, there are 5 sigma bonds and one lone pair. So total 6 hybrid orbitals are required. So hybridization will be sp3d2. These 4 fluorine atoms connected together will form a square, and when connected with the top oxygen, it will form a pyramid. So geometry will be what? Square pyramid. So this is 4, and then HCF6. It is having 6 sigma bonds plus one lone pair. So hybridization will become sp3d3, and geometry is distorted octahedral. So this is 2, 1, 4, 3. So which option is matching? 2, 1, 4, 3. Option number 3. Right? So 59 is 3. Then question number Question number 62. The standard heat of formation in kilocalorie per mole of Pa2 plus heat. And in data they have given us heat of formation of aqueous sulfate ion, then heat of crystallization of barium sulfate, and then there is heat of formation of barium sulfate. So it is a typical question based on Hess law, right? So first of all, let us write the desired reaction, the standard formation, and this reaction is what? Crystallization. First of all, let me write crystallization reaction. What is that? Va2 plus aqueous plus SO4 2 minus aqueous giving VaSO4 solvent. This is what? Crystallization reaction of barium sulfate. So now, in order to write delta A of any reaction, if enthalpy of formation data is given, what is the formula? Summation of enthalpy of formation of products minus summation of enthalpy of formation of reactants, right? So for this crystallization, they have already given us that the standard heat of crystallization is how much? Minus 4.5. So first of all, let us write here. Minus 4.5 is equal to. Now, what is there on product side? BaSO2. So for BaSO4, what is the standard heat of formation? It is minus 349. Minus Ba2 plus, which we are supposed to calculate, that will be X, and of sulfate ion, aqueous sulfatic acid is how much? -216. So now if you solve that properly, you will get answer as what? -128.5. So X final comes out as -128.5 kilocalorie per month. Right? So this is option 3. Okay, this was very nice conceptual question. Enthalpy of formation of product minus enthalpy of formation of reactant will give you enthalpy of the reaction. Yes. The next one is question number 60. How many products including stereoisomers are expected from monochlorination of the following compound? So this is also very interesting question. First of all, let us draw structure of all various structural isomers obtained by monochlorination of this compound. So for that we have to first identify different types of hydrogen atoms in this. So see, these two are identical. Let us call them A. Then this is B. This is C and this is D. Point to be noted is, see, even though A and B both are primary carbons, 1 degree carbon, but still, from symmetry point of view, they should be considered as different types of carbons. Because for with respect to this methyl group, adjacent carbon is tertiary. Whereas with respect to this methyl group, adjacent carbon is secondary. Right? So that is why total 4 different types of carbon and hydrogen atoms are there. So corresponding to each of them, we will get one structural isomer. Right? So now let us draw the structures and we'll see. So let us draw structures of these 4 monochloro derivatives. Yes. So let us draw 4 structural isomers. This is what? This is the original structure. So one will be obtained by chlorination at this carbon. So by this chlorination, this carbon is becoming carbon, right? Then when there is substitution on this tertiary carbon, we will get this second structural isomer. But in this one, there is no chiral carbon present, so we will get only one product. Then third one, let me draw here. Third, when there is chlorination of this carbon itself is becoming chiral or optically active. And finally, there is chlorination of this carbon. So you can see, in first case, there will be 2 enantiomers because there are 2 there is a chiral carbon. In second one, there will be only one product. In third one, again, because of the presence of chiral carbon or optically active center, there will be 2 products, 2 enantiomers. And third one will again yield only one product. So overall, 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1, total 6 products will be obtained. Right? So answer कौन क्या आएगा? 2. Okay. So then this one we have done already. 63. This is from solution chapter based on different types of solutions. So humidity is basically what? It is moisture or water in air, right? Water in air is basically what? Liquid in gas. So A will be 2. Alloys, everyone knows it is what? Solid dissolved in solid. So it will be option 1. Amalgam is basically what? Liquid dissolved in solid. Basically, amalgam क्या होता है? Mercury in any other metal, right? So it is what? Liquid in solid. So it will be option 4. And smoke is solid particles dissolved in or mixed with air, मतलब gas. So solid in gas. That will be option 3. So 2, 1, 4, 3. So which one is matching? Option 4. Right? Then 64. So this is simple reaction C plus H2 giving CH4 and delta rate of this reaction is mentioned as minus 74.8 kilojoule per mole. So it is the exothermic reaction. So in exothermic reactions, products are less energetic than reactants because when reactants are getting converted into products, they are releasing energy. So products will be less energetic. So from that perspective, if product will be less energetic, then either you have option 1 or option 3. In both of them, products are less energetic. But in option 1, the energy difference they are showing is in between what? Reactant and reaction intermediate or you can say transition state. तो उसको तो activation energy कहा जाता है ना. So they are representing activation energy, but they are writing delta. So that is wrong. But in option 3, you can see they have properly shown energy difference between reactant and product as 74.8. That means answer will be option 3. Okay. So this is question number 64. Then 66. Total number of possible isomers, both structural as well as stereoisomers. For cyclic ethers of molecular formula C4H8O. So first of all, degree of unsaturation of this molecule, if you calculate, so degree of unsaturation of oxygen containing compounds is given as 4 carbon atoms are there. 4 to the 8, 8 plus 2, 10. 10 minus 8. And oxygen atoms are not considered, right? So 10 minus 8 divided by 2 is equal to 1. So there will be either one pi bond or one ring, right? So they have mentioned cyclic ethers. That means ring is also already incorporated. So inside ring there will not be any pi bond. So it will be what? Ring with one single bond. So first let us draw all the possible structures for this. So let us first take all 4 carbon atoms as well as oxygen atoms inside the ring. So this is our TH8 tetrahydrofuran, which is having no iron carbon. They are also having stereoisomers. So we have to also identify iron carbon, but it does not have an iron carbon. Then let us take one carbon oxide. So one methyl right here. This is becoming carbon. Then if you shift that methyl to next carbon, this is not chiral, right? Because if you start from this carbon, if you go anti-clockwise or clockwise, you will get same connectivity of atoms. So this is not chiral. Then we will get two oxygen carbon atoms outside. So first one is this ethyl group and this one is from carbon. Then we will attach two methyl groups on the same carbon atom. This is also having no chiral carbon. And the last is very important. This two chiral carbons, right? So it will have total three. This will not have any stereoisomer. There will be only one single molecule. But first and second, because of they are having one chiral carbon, they will have one electron also. And this one, there will be total three isomers performed. So let us draw the structure of these three isomers. So one is this one. This is what? Mesomer, because there is plane of symmetry. So its mirror image will be identical between उसको अलग से काउंट नहीं करेंगे. Then there is this one is optically active. So this because it is not having any plane of symmetry. Plus it in isomer. So total you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Total 10 isomers you are getting. So option 1. Right? Once. Yes, the next one is so for the reaction A plus 2B giving 2B, the backward reaction rate constant is higher than the forward reaction rate constant by a factor of 2500. So it is a reversible reaction at equilibrium and we are supposed to write its equilibrium constant in terms of K, right? So first of all, Kc is given as what? Kf upon Kb, rate constant of forward reaction upon rate constant of backward reaction. And what we are saying, the backward reaction rate constant Kb is 2500 times as compared to Kf, right? Higher than that, so it will be what? 1 upon 2500. So यहाँ पर क्या हमने Kc calculate किया. Now they are asking what? Kp. So now typical relation Kp is equal to what? Kc into RT raised to delta Ag. Now this is simple reaction for which delta Ag is what? 2 minus 1, right? So this will become 1 by 2500 into R of 0.0, how much I have mentioned, 8C into temperature is 1000 Kelvin and raised to delta Ag is 1. Right, so calculation is also very simple, not very complicated. It will become what? 83 upon 2500. So it comes out as 0.033. Right? So two things to be considered. First, Kc is equal to K by Kb, and then Kt is equal to Kc into RT is to delta Mg. Right? So this is our critical number. Yes. 66, we have done 65 or not, let's see, 65 will do. Sugar X, उसके जो चार कैरेक्टरिस्टिक दिए हैं और आइडेंटिफाई करना है कि क्या है वो, is found in honey. So out of this four, which one is found in honey? Fructose is present in honey. Right? But to verify other three points, you have to take it is a keto sugar. Yes, fructose is keto H, right? Exists in alpha and beta anomic form. Yes, when there is nucleophilic addition of OH group on that keto group, it gets converted into its cyclic structure, fructofuranones, and they exist as what? Alpha and beta anomic forms. And it is levo-rotated, which is obviously experimental fact. We cannot ascertain that theoretically, but experimentally we know that it is what? Levo-rotatory sugar. So this confirms this sugar X is nothing but the fructose. Alright. So Yes, now on question 68, and thank you very much. Now I hand over to Shyam sir. He will continue further discussion. Thank you. Yes.
Hello everyone. देखिए क्वेश्चन स्टार्ट नंबर का I think 67 तक हो चुका है. Then let me start with the 68. Question number 68, the ratio of wavelength of light absorbed by the hydrogen atom undergoes n is equal to 2 when is equal to 3 and n is equal to 4 to n is equal to 6 transition respectively is. See ये question अगर हम करना हो अगर ये क्वेश्चन मुझे करना हो मैं सिंपली बोलूंगा कि मैं यहाँ पे फॉर्मूला यूज करूंगा 1 upon lambda is equal to 1 upon lambda is equal to, we can use the formula r z square 1 upon n1 square minus 1 upon n2 square. Right? Then this is 1 upon lambda of, I'm taking it as a 2 is to 2 to 3 upon 1 upon lambda of 3 to 4 R और Z सेम ही आता है सिंगल सी बात है Z कैंसिल हो जाएगा so we will get a ratio 2 to 3 में n1 is going to be 2 and n2 is equal to 3 here n1 is equal to 4 and n2 is equal to 6 so I'm directly subtracting the values 1 upon n1 square is 1 upon 4 minus 1 upon 9 then here 1 upon 9 1 upon 9 sorry it is 4 to 6 so 1 upon 16 1 upon 16 minus 1 upon 36. So the one is the solver this is then to be the ratio of 4 to 6 and lambda to 3. This is going to be 5 upon 36 divided by 36 minus 16 is 20 upon 36. 36 cancel. This is going to be 1 upon 4. But this is the ratio of 4 to 6 and 2 to 3. But हमें चाहिए ratio of 2 to 3 to 4 to 6. Simple सी बात है ये उल्टा हो जाएगा. Sorry. Okay, this is 16 also. Right. Now this is 5 4 1 4 जो कि ऊपर जाता है 4 देगा. So अब हमें जो चाहिए रेशियो दोनों का रेशियो this upon this so this upon this is going to be what so lambda to 3 to lambda to 6 is going to be 1 upon 4 that means the answer to is correct. So ये था question number 68 अब हम आगे करते हैं question number 69. Then हम आगे करते हैं question number 69. See question number 69 के बारे में अगर हम बातें करें तो this is simply अल्फा निकालना है अल्फा का फॉर्मूला होता है lambda n upon lambda not n और infinity n. Lambda n अगर देखा जाए तो वैल्यू में दिया हुआ 90 lambda तो this is 90 upon lambda infinity n that is this cation plus anion को ऐड कर दो दोनों को ऐड करके you will get approximately 400. So alpha is equal to 90 upon 400 and you will answer 0.225. Right? Then हम बातें करते हैं next. Question number 70. 5 moles of liquid X and 10 moles of liquid Y mix a solution having a vapor pressure of 70 torr. अगर आप देखो तो यहाँ पे X और Y mix करके मैंने pressure ही दे दिया होगा, मतलब this is like the observed ratio, right? The vapor pressure of pure X and Y is also given. ये find out करना है, जनरली ऐसे क्वेश्चन में क्या होता है कि हमें ना वो पूछता है vapor pressure पूछा जाता है, total vapor pressure. पर यहाँ पे total vapor pressure दिया हुआ है, जिसे observe है, हमें बताना है कि positive या negative deviation. So उसके लिए हम लोग क्या करेंगे? We will find out first the theoretical vapor pressure. So theoretical vapor pressure के लिए formula use होगा Ps is equal to P naught 1 x1 plus P naught 2 x2. And here it is x and y, so it is x का data, this is y का data. So this is going to be 5, or this is 63 into 5 upon 50 plus this is 78 into 10 upon 50. और जब आप solve करोगे तो इसको solve करके आपको आएगा आंसर 73. This 73, this is the what, this is, we are getting this 73 according to the formula, also the formula. So ultimately this is going to be what? This is theoretical data. And the observed data kitna diya hua hai? The observed is given as 70. So ultimately from the this we can see the observed मतलब जितना आना चाहिए था उससे कम vapor pressure है, मतलब कम vapors form हो रहा है, और कम vapors form हो रहा है, मतलब the solution shows negative deviation. Then question number 71 के बारे में अगर हम बात करें. Then for question number 71, simply I will say instead of calculating like हर एक का atoms पहले आप moles निकाल दो, because the number of moles of molecule is directly proportional to the number of moles of atoms. तो जहाँ पे मतलब sorry, the number of atom is directly proportional to the number of moles of atom. तो सबके number of moles निकाल दो. अगर आप देखोगे यहाँ पे 202 ग्राम है, मोलार मास अच्छी बात है कि दिया हुआ है, तो डिवाइड बाय 106, you will get this as a 2 moles. See, how many 2 moles sodium carbonate? Each sodium carbonate contains 3 plus 1 plus 2, that is 6 atoms. So this is 2, मतलब ultimately this is equal to what? And I am writing here A contains 2 into 6, that is 12 mole atom. अगर हम d की बातें करें, this is 248 divided by 62. तो जब आप इसे 62 से डिवाइड करोगे, then ultimately you will get 4 moles. But again, three atoms, there are 3 atoms, so it is going to be 4. These are the mole atom again. Then 240 grams of NaH, sodium hydroxide molar mass 40. This is 6 moles आएगा into 3 atoms. So C will have 80 mole atom. And 12 gram hydrogen, 6 mole, that means D will have 6 into 2, 12 mole atom. And the last is carbon dioxide, which is 5 mole after dividing 44. 5 into 3, 15 moles आएगा इनमें. हमें क्वेश्चन में पूछा गया है like which of the following will contain the equal number of atoms. So you can see here the 12, 12, 12, that means A, B, and D. A, B, and D contains equal number of atoms. So I think it is going to be the option number 4. Yeah, A, B, and D only. So option number 4 student. Then next. Next I'm taking 74 number. Question number 74. Sorry, 72. Question number 72 के बारे में बात करें जब तक following is a paramagnetic. See यहाँ पे NI के ही सारे और complexes हैं. So NI we are going to the first time finding the bond, this is the oxidation number, so plus 2. Here it is 0, plus 2, plus 2, and 0 again. Now for the nickel I will say the nickel is what? Argon 4s2 6 3 8, sorry, and Ni plus 2 molar and 4s2 मतलब it is going to be something like this, right? And Ni plus is going to be only 38, means there is a no electron in the 4s. So S is completely vacant. Here we will have only one more electron, right? And this one electron. So अगर हम यहाँ पर बात करें कि आंसर क्या होगा? So NiCl4, Ni plus 2 है, Cl is a weak field and non-compared or comparing from the sequence bar is to remain unpaired. So this is going to be paramagnetic. NiCl4, here the NiCl4 oxidation number is 0, then by bond यहाँ पे ये इलेक्ट्रॉन ये खाली नहीं होगा. तो इसको खाली कराने के लिए हम क्या करते हैं, इलेक्ट्रॉन को यहाँ पे भेजेंगे और इलेक्ट्रॉन को यहाँ पे भेजेंगे या तो पैरेलल दोनों साइड में. In short, the forest is split to 3D, right? So for us, 3D mistake हो गया, the coordination of 4, so it's going to be sp3 and so we'll see यहाँ पे जो दो unpaired थे इनके आने के बाद में pair हो जाएंगे. So this is going to be the diamond as it's a unpaired electron. And I still don't know minus. This is a strong field and permanently pairing करा देगा. So there will be no unpaired electron. So again, this is going to be diamond. And I H2O6 plus the same story like this here. So ultimately this will have paramagnetic property. Here again the nickel is zero or here go S खाली होना चाहिए because without S there is no hybridization. So ultimately these two electron will again in case of NiPbS3 will shift to this और दोनों electron वापस से यहाँ पे shift हो गए मतलब this will become empty and you will have sp3 hybridization. Again there will be no unpaired electron so it's going to be So अगर हम पैरामैग्नेटिक के बारे में बात करें, we have only two paramagnetic, that is A and B. Very clear. So this is going to be the answer there. The next, if the half-life of the first part of the reaction is 1 minute, then time required for the 99.9% completion is closest to. Say this is 99.9%. So वैसे तो directly होगा this is 10 times of half-life, and the answer is going to be 1. Sorry, 10. यहाँ पे you can solve the same question by using the formula T is equal to 2.303 upon T log to the base 10. A naught is 100, A is 0.1. Or if solve, you will get the same answer, that is 10. So this one. The next one. Very good. Very well. 74. 74. For 74, simply you have to find out the energy and the radius. ये थोड़ा लेवल क्वेश्चन है जहाँ एनर्जी और रेडियस आपको दोनों ही फाइंड करना है और एरिया में एलाइन प्लस सेकंड ध्यान देना है कि हमें जो रेडियस दिया गया है पिकोमीटर में दिया हुआ और एनर्जी जो है वो जूल्स स्लैश में राइट सो एनर्जी के लिए हम फॉर्मूला यूज करेंगे पहले तो -2.18 into 10 raised to -18 into z square upon n square. So अगर मैं यहाँ पे देखूँ एनर्जी ऑफ He plus तो you will get -2.18 into 10 raised to -18 z square for helium is 4 and the value का वही होगा and after solving this you get 8.72 into 10 raised to -18. Similarly, for Li2 plus, I can use the formula -2.18 again into 10 raised to 8 minus 18. For Li2 plus, this is 29 upon 1, and this will be somewhere -19.62 into 10 raised to -18 joules. So on the basis of energy, he शायद हमें आंसर मिल गया है तो अगर हम यहाँ पे आंसर चेक करें कि आंसर क्या होगा. So if you see the option number 3, if you see the option number 3, here the Li is -19.62, जैसा कि मैं वहां पर आ रहा था. Li2 plus 19.62 is -18, और अगर हम हीलियम के बारे में बात करें तो telling the same -8.7 is -18. Now if we want to calculate radius in terms of formula radius is equal to 0.529 into n square upon z, उससे आपको radius क्या आ जाएगा. Then Question number 75. Among the given compound, what would be the correct order of bond dissociation? Bond dissociation यानी सिंपल सी बात है एनर्जी लेकर के ब्रेक कर रहा है मतलब न्यूमोलिटिकली ब्रेक कर रहा है तो सिंपल सा मैं यहाँ पे क्या कॉन्सेप्ट यूज करूंगा ऑल आर कार्बन हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड तो कार्बन हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड के बीच में कंपेयर करना है और यहाँ पे सारे कार्बन का हाइब्रिडाइजेशन अलग अलग है यहाँ पर मैं देखूंगी दिस कार्बन इज this carbon is sp2 hybridized, this carbon is sp hybridized, and this carbon is sp3 hybridized. तो अल्टीमेटली यहाँ पे जो कार्बन और हाइड्रोजन के बीच का बॉन्ड है दिस कार्बन हाइड्रोजन का बॉन्ड इज sp2 वाला कार्बन और sp और मुझे पता है कि जैसे जैसे परसेंटेज कैरेक्टर बढ़ेगा सिंपल सी बात है electronegativity will also increase and even I also know कि bond strength जो होता है bond strength is directly proportional to the difference in electronegativity. तो on the basis of this अगर मैं देखेंगे सबसे ज्यादा strong bond किसका है जहाँ पे difference in electronegativity is high that is the one which have the highest characteristics. The strongest bond since it's the strongest bond so this will require the largest amount of energy than this and then the last one is going to be this one. So the answer is 2, 1, 3. Now it's commentary could not explain each of the following. The answer है law of gaseous volume ये explain नहीं हुआ right? Okay. Then the next question. Question number 77. Identify the correct again the property mentioned. अगर हम बात करें क्वेश्चन नंबर 77 एंटाइटल मोमेंट कौन से प्रॉपर्टीज ऑलरेडी mentioned water ammonia and ClClP the diagonal moment is correct the number of lone pair electron the non have the 8 electrons are almost alright so here is the 4 bond बनाया तो ultimately we have 4 left electron it is a 2 lone pair Xe4 where the xenon is forming 6 bond that means 1 lone pair will be there and this will only 2 bonds is 3 lone pair. So अगर आप number of lone pair देखोगे तो यहाँ पे order गलत है सबसे पहले इसका होगा शेयर सबसे कम इसका this is the wrong statement. OHCl and bond length है this is going to be the largest bond this will have the largest bond length because यहाँ पे दोनों ही atom देखा जाए तो second period में belong करता है जबकि इसको smallest बोला जाता है this is also wrong. N2 O2 and H2 bond and carbon. They can have 14 electrons, bond order is 3, bond order is 2, and bond order is 1. So bond order ज़्यादा है, bond strong होगा, bond strong होगा, मतलब bond and carbon is going to be fast. This is again a correct one. So which of the following is the correct one? And answer is A and B. Right? The next. Which of the following compound which one of the following compound does not decolorize bromine water? तो सिंपल सी बात है देखते हैं इसमें से कौन सा बंदा है जो ब्रोमीन वाटर के साथ रिएक्ट नहीं करता सो आंसर है हेक्सेन बिकॉज हमने अल्केन का ऐसा कोई भी रिएक्शन पढ़ा ही नहीं है जो कि रिएक्ट करता हो the next this question number 78 is directly from the NCERT अगर देखा जाए right हमें बहुत बार क्वेश्चंस के ऊपर देखता है vitamin B12 we have to write the deficiency results so B12 is going to be this vitamin D this is going to be the third one vitamin B2 that is pretty since direct question so answer is 4 1. Then question number 82. The predicted measure product P in the following reaction. This is again one of the good question. अगर हम यहाँ पे HBr के बारे में बात करते हैं HBr in the presence of benzoyl peroxide is equals by the free radical addition रहेगा तो Br add कहाँ होगा अगर इस किसी के लिए बना रहा तो bond will break this bond will break after the addition of Br. So this bond will break and here you will get Br right फिर उसके अंदर आप ACN ऐड करोगे या रिप्लेस बाय ACN. So here it is going to be CS3 and here is going to be CN. And this is a what? This is a reducing event. And being a reducing event, CN को reduce कर देगा और CN को reduce करने के बाद that CN will become CH2NH2. And CH2NH2 means that exactly the product looks like this, right? Then question number 83. Question number 83. 83. Again, this is directly from the NCERT के सारे examples आपको दिए हुए हैं NCERT के अंदर. So I'm just directly the answer for this. The answer is the completely factual question. So answer is B. Uh, the correct. The correct or decreasing basic strength of N the given amines. See, basic strength में हमने पढ़ा हुआ पहले बार में aliphatic amines जो होते हैं, they are more basic. Aliphatic amines जो होते हैं, they are more basic than aromatic. So इससे मुझे समझ में आता है कि यहाँ पे टोटल कितने amines दिए हैं. पहला है anithyl amine, दूसरा है ethylamine, third is NHCS3, and the last is aniline, benzene amide. That is aniline. राइट. तो इसमें ये तो कंफर्म हो गया कि these two are going to be more basic than these two. और इसमें भी अगर देखा जाए तो बार-बार होगा कि secondary is more basic than primary. So this is going to be the most basic and this is going to be the second one. उसके बाद अगर ये दोनों इन दोनों से weak base होंगे, इनमें भी CH3 shows the plus effect. Ultimately this is going to be more basic than aniline, right? So answer firstly होगा according to that order. Question number 80, the correct order of the wavelength of the light absorbed by the following mock faces. Again, this question has the combination of the concepts. Like सबसे पहले तो हमने ऐसे क्वेश्चन में पढ़ा हुआ है कि अगर कोऑर्डिनेशन को 60 देंगे सारे या तो कोऑर्डिनेशन को बट यहाँ पे नहीं किया है. Now, since these three have the same coordination number, पहली बार number to lambda is inversely proportional to this and is inversely proportional to strength of ligand. Strong ligand will always produce the most fitting that is the lambda is going to be the low, right? तो इन तीनों में अगर हम देखें कोऑर्डिनेशन नंबर सेम है तो मैं डालूंगा इससे बड़ा आ जाएगा स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ ligand सबसे ज्यादा स्टैंडर्ड का है. So the B will for lambda value B का सबसे ज्यादा होगा, then C and then B, but this lambda value sorry delta value the gravitational field splitting energy तो lambda क्या होगा, lambda will be exactly reverse. और रही बात this is coordination number 4, hybridization is sp3, right? And since this is sp3 hybridization, हमने पढ़ा हुआ कि delta of tetrahedral is less than delta of this. So ultimately इसका lambda delta वाला और भी कम होगा और इसका lambda और भी हाई होगा. So answer is B, C, B will have the least, then A, sorry, the order of the next chapter will be B, A, and then D. So it will be B, A, B, and this is C. So B, A, D is carrying the answer is 4, 1. Again, this, okay, then question number 84, this is next. Question number 84, student. Which among the following electronic configuration belongs to main group? मैं main group बोलूँगा S block और P block होगा. This is S block और P block होगा. तो S block में कौन कौन होगा? PS1 S block, 3H2, but see the last electron इसमें जा रहा है, this is D block, so this is not a main group element. Here it is 5H2, 5P1, last electron D में गया, so main group. This is 4S1, 4S1 feeding tab. This is nothing but a copper element, it's a D block element, so again not a main group element. And here it is 7S2 and 6D2, again last electron D में गया, not a main group element. So answer is going to be A and C only. Then 85. This one, this is the group one. Similar, exactly the same question last year we पूछा गया था. Simple सी बात ये ज़्यादा होगी, but the same इससे बता group कौन सा है, कौन से group में belong करता है. So this is हमने पढ़ा हुआ aluminium belongs to group number 3. So aluminium के लिए this is going to be group number 2. Magnesium belongs to group number 6, that is 4. Lead belongs to group number 1, and this belongs to cobalt belongs to group number 4. Group number 4, that is this is going to be third one. So 3, 4, 1, 2. Yes. So 3, 4, 1, 2. So 3, 4, 1, 2, that is the option number 4. The question is question number 86. Question number 85. Which one of the following compound exists as a cis and trans, shows cis and trans isomerism. हमें पता है कि cis और trans दिखाने के लिए यहाँ पे cyclic compounds है. Now this cyclic compounds में सारे अगर हम यहाँ पे बात करें, this is going to be option number 2 will be the right answer, because यहाँ पे अगर आप देखेंगे तो कुछ ऐसा है. One diagonal cyclohexane is the carbon where all these sections are like in which other carbon regular groups are, right? One diagonal cyclopropane में cyclopropane, it is something like this. Same पे दो group same है, मतलब same carbon में तो नहीं दिखाएगा. Pentane, this is going to be pentane. यहाँ पे लिखना चाहिए, but यहाँ पे CH2 है, so will not show. N2 methyl H2, N2 methyl H2 is going to be like this. So again, it will not show. The next is phosphoric acid ionizes in a P-step with their ionization constant Ka1, K2, and K3. See, P-step हो रहा है तो कुछ चीजें हमने पहले से पढ़ा हुआ है, Ka1 is greater than Ka2 and greater than Ka3. So this is option number I can see जो correct है. हमने ये भी पढ़ा हुआ है कि K is equal to क्या होगा, Ka1 into K2 into Ka3. This is option number नहीं same नहीं है, यहाँ पे log ही है, तो this will become log of K is equal to log of K1 plus log of K2 plus log of K3, मतलब ये भी correct है. SpPO4 फर्स्ट स्टेप में SpPO4 डिसोशिएट होता है, सेकंड स्टेप में ये डिसोशिएट होता है, थर्ड स्टेप में ये डिसोशिएट होता है. एंड सिंस K1 is greater than K2, that means SpPO4 is stronger than HpPO4 minus and it is stronger than HpO4 minus. मतलब इधर this statement is so A, B and C. Then the 1881 higher level of iron, अगर आप देखोगे higher level में बता रहा है based on some related principle. Delta H positive and delta H positive, and it means the delta H is positive if the reaction is endothermic, so ultimately it will occurs with the higher and high temperature. High temperature करोगे तो forward favor होगा. Second thing, forward NO कहाँ पे form होना है, forward पे form होना है, तो अगर आप इसको बनाना चाहते हैं increase the concentration of pentane overalls. So answer A, C and D. So the option which will have A, C, and D is going to be the correct one. That means option number 3. Okay. Now the 89th one. Benzene gasoline salt is prepared by the reaction of aniline with the nitrous acid at 78 Kelvin becomes the dry state. फिलहाल हमने पढ़ा हुआ बेंजीन डायज़ोनियम क्लोराइड लो टेम्परेचर पे स्टेबल भी होता है और 5 डिग्री सेल्सियस को प्रिपेयर किया जाता है. सो दिस इज द करेक्ट वन. The insertion of the iodine into benzene is difficult and hence the iodine is prepared to the reaction of benzene diazonium salt AI. Again हमने यहाँ पे इसके लिए हम same reaction use कर रहे हैं. This is also the correct one. Let's see the question number 19. This is a little tedious question जो कि थोड़ी हमारे सोच के अगेंस्ट चलता है इसमें अगर हम यहाँ पर बातें करें से 10 अगर मैं यहाँ पे CSP MCDR डालता हूँ तो अल्टीमेटली व्हाट विल हैपन पहले तो this will become OH and here you will also have this so then secondly the CN will become bond CN will become a C double bond or CL3 हमें ये भी रिएक्शन पड़ा then हमें लगता है कि शायद अगेन हम CL3 MGBR इसके अंदर ऐड होगा and this will also get converted into alcohol पर ध्यान में रखो जब आपने ये रिएक्शन किया था तो ये रिएक्शन के टाइम में आपने नाइट्रोलिसिस किया और हाइड्रोलिसिस किया मतलब वाटर आया एसिड आया तो अल्टीमेटली जो भी लिग्नास रिएजेंट बचा रहेगा वो सारा लिग्नास रिएजेंट इस तरह में खत्म हो जाएगा मतलब आगे रिएक्शन के लिए लिग्नास रिएजेंट नहीं बचेगा so this is going to be the answer that is the option number 4 so this was the analysis this was the solution and analysis of the chemistry paper in 2025 student यही करके स्टॉप करते हैं एनालिसिस हाँ नहीं मैम वो एकदम हर जगह
Yeah. Are you audible, first of all?
I think we are. Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Abhang Prabhu. I'm Professor Sachin, and today you all have attempted NEET 2025. And from that biology section, 90 MCQs, we will try and give you the answers, and wherever possible, we'll give you the explanation as well.
Correct.
The version that we are referring to is version 48 English. So we all are on the same page for version 48 English. Can we go? Well, this is the first question. In the above represented plasmid, an alien piece of DNA is inserted at E. coli site. Which of the following strategies will be chosen to select the recombinant colonies? What they have shown is EcoR1 has been ligated with beta galactosidase, and here they are ligating the alien gene. So obviously beta galactosidase will show insertional inactivation. So after adding chromogenic substrate, the white color colonies will be selected. That will be the selectable marker. So answer should be 1. White colored colonies will be selected. Can we go ahead? The protein portion of an enzyme is called apoenzyme, whereas prosthetic group cofactor coenzymes are non-protein. Next, given below are two statements. Primary source of energy in ecosystem is solar energy. Correct statement. Rate of production of organic matter during photosynthesis in an ecosystem is called net primary productivity is wrong. Gross primary productivity. So statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Can we go ahead? A typical unfertilized angiosperm embryo sac at maturity is 8 nucleate and 7 celled, which is a true statement. Egg apparatus has 2 polar nuclei is a false statement. So assertion is true, but R is false. Can you take the next one?
Neoplastic characteristics of the cells referred to, and they have given 4 statements. The answer is A, B, and C only. They have asked true. So that's why we are saying it is A, B, C. A mass, rapid growth, and invasion, those confined to the original location, we know they are not. Correct. So only A plus B plus C true. That is the alternative 4. Which one of the following is a characteristic feature of a gymnosperm? We thought this is much more straighter. Its seeds are naked. So 4th alternative. Can we go ahead, please? There are the hormones and from where they are coming. And if you really go through the progesterone, corpus luteum, correct, the relaxin is coming from the ovary. Melanocyte stimulation hormone is coming from intermedia. Obviously, the 4th one left is from the adrenal. Looks good. 3 alternate. Which chromosome? Can we go ahead? Which chromosome is the human genome has the highest? I think this is a fact, and you know this is chromosome 1. Straight in.
Yeah.
Which one of the following statements about Rubisco is true? You know, Rubisco is an enzyme and it catalyzes the carboxylation of RUBP. Why others are wrong? It's an enzyme involved in the photolysis. No way. It is an active only in a dark, no way, and it has higher affinity for oxygen. I'm sorry, that's also a wrong statement. So 3 wrong, 1 correct. Can we go ahead? First menstruation is called menarche. Nothing more to be discussed about this. These are fultoses which you get in the paper, and you have to get your first score. Which one of the following genetically engineered organisms was used? Again, a straight one. Bacterium is the answer. Correct? Can we go ahead? Sachin?
Yes. 2 statements. Assertion reason. All vertebrates are chordates, but all chordates are not vertebrates. Absolutely true. The members of subphylum Vertebrata possess notochord during the embryonic period, and the notochord is replaced by cartilaginous or bony vertebral column. Exactly, that is the reason why we have all vertebrates are chordates, but all chordates are not vertebrates. So answer will be both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Can we go ahead? What is the main function of spindle fibers during mitosis? Quite an obvious answer. It helps in separation of the 2 chromosomes. Definitely 3 is the answer. Well, we have matched the column. Alfred Hershey and Martha Chase. We all know they have proven that DNA is the genetic material. Euchromatin, one of the characteristic features is loosely packed and lightly stained. Frederick Griffith, another scientist who worked on Streptococcus pneumoniae, and heterochromatin is always densely packed and darkly stained. So obviously answer is 1. Next. Well, here we have the terms adenosine, which refers to a nucleoside. Adenylate acid refers to nucleotide. Adenine is a nitrogen base, and alanine, as we all know, is an amino acid. So answer will be 1. Can we go ahead?
Yeah, 106 in a frog renal portal system, straight kidney and lower part of the body. This year there were 3 to 4 questions on a frog. Last 3 years there were a lot from the cockroach. This
Yes.
year their
No
favorite
question.
animal emerged out to be a frog. But it's straight question, second alternative. Which of the following are the post-transcriptional events in a eukaryotic cell? And if you go one by one, the answer is B plus C plus D. Transport of pre-mRNA to cytoplasm prior to splicing is wrong. And E base pairing of 2 complementary, that's wrong. Correct? So 2 obviously wrong, 3 are correct. So I think the alternative 4 should go. Again, NCRT based. Yes, 5 statements you have to assess, true and false. So we'll take some time, but the question is not difficult. Can we go ahead? Polymerase chain reaction amplifies the DNA following the equation 2 raised to n. Very straight, correct?
Yes. Where n is the number of cycles that are repeated.
Yes.
Next.
Given below the 2 statements, correct assertion and result, both wind and water pollinated flowers are not only very colorful, do not produce the nectar, correct? And the flowers produce enormous amount of pollen grains in wind and water. I think vestige is also a factor. So both look true, but R is not the explanation of A.
Yes.
So I think I'll go with the alternative 4. Sachin, so can you take this?
Yes. Well, this is from organism and population chapter.
Yeah.
Epiphytes that are growing on a mango branch is an example of which of the following? Obviously, it is commensalism. Epiphytes are benefited, mango is not. So commensalism is the answer for this. Next question. We have 5 statements related to human embryonic development and their timeline. In human pregnancy, the major organ systems are formed at the end of 12 weeks, which is absolutely correct. A. Human pregnancy, the major organ systems are formed at the end of 8 weeks. These are contradicting, so B is wrong. C. In human pregnancy, heart is formed after 1 month of gestation. So that is also true. Human pregnancy, limbs and digits develop by the end of 2nd month. Yes, absolutely true. Human pregnancy, the appearance of hair is usually observed in the 5th month. E. All these are NCRT lines, straight line pickups from NCRT. So answer is A, C, D, E.
I don't know why people got confused here, correct? These are NCRT lines, there is a paragraph. And if you really go close, it's a game between 1 and 2.
Yes.
Alternative. You have to just decide A or B because C, D, E was common. So you have to do the toss between A and B, what is correct and what is wrong.
Absolutely.
Correct? If A is correct, then there has to be alternative 2 or a B. If the correct 4 and 3 becomes obviously out of the game. But anyway, we thought this is also a straight question. NCRT may take time, but should not be a problem.
Next, 112, they have a diagram from biotechnology of bioreactor. They have labeled, and you have to answer which is used as a foam breaker. Foam breaker, if you see the diagram, it is C, which is labeled as foam breaker. So our answer is 2.
I think or micro.
No, this is biotech.
Yeah. The frogs respire in water by skin and buccal cavity, and on the land by skin, buccal cavity, and lungs. Correct. The statement is false for the water, but true for the land.
Correct.
Very obvious. Correct. Consider the following statements regarding function of adrenal medullary armones and check out. We feel B, C, D are correct. It causes pupillary constriction wrong. It causes dilation. B, hyperglycemic. I think glucagon will do that. Piloerection can be done. Increases the strength of the heart contraction can be done by adrenaline. So B, C, D looks good. A looks wrong. We have a great option 4. I think 4 is the answer. Till now, we have taken care of 24 questions. We think we can answer them through NCRT. Correct? There can be some time consumption for 4 questions, but we don't think there is any problem.
Yeah.
Correct? As far as this 24 are concerned. We'll go ahead. Next.
Can I?
Yeah.
Read the following statements on plant growth and development. Partheno can be induced, parthenocarpy can be induced by auxins. Absolutely true, straight line from NCRT. Plant growth regulators can be involved in promotion as well as inhibition of growth. Absolutely yes. Dedifferentiation is prerequisite for redifferentiation. What it means is, if redifferentiation has to occur, the dedifferentiation has to occur. Yes, definitely true. Abscisic acid is a plant growth promoter. No, it is inhibitor. And apical dominance promotes the growth of lateral buds. No, it inhibits. So true statements are A, B, and C. Can we go ahead? Which of the following hormones released from the pituitary is actually synthesized in the hypothalamus? Obvious answer, antidiuretic hormone and oxytocin. Oxytocin is not featured, so antidiuretic hormone.
117, I think the straight question. Here is the answer, alternative 1. What is the pattern of inheritance? It is fourth non-Mendelian inheritance, because you're talking about correct post-Mendelian or non-Mendelian as it is called, correct the genetics. So polyphenic comes in that, so it has to be non-Mendelian. Can we go ahead?
This is related to sperm structure. They are not specified, but we looking at the options, obviously they are referring to the structure of sperm. Head is the one which contains genetic material. Middle piece has mitochondria, so related to energy. Acrosome secretes enzyme for fertilization, and tail helps in sperm motility. So obviously answer is 3.
Can we go ahead? Which of the following is an example of zygomorphic? P straight, correct, NCRT. Which of the following organisms cannot fix, correct, or
Fix nitrogen actually. Yes,
there is a
nitrogen fixation. Yes.
Fourth question, fourth alternative one, that is D only. Which of the following is an example of ex situ? They have asked ex situ, correct, conservation, and the answer is number 1, Susan Botanical Garden. Again, a straight one. We have almost finished 32 questions out of 90, and we still feel this is all NCRT based and this is factual.
Yeah.
Correct. So if somebody is going through the NCRT over last 2 years, there should not be a much problem in solving this. Can we go ahead? Father of ecology in India, they love the Indian scientists. You get it almost every year, every now and then they come. This is Mr. Mishra. Can we go ahead? Sachin.
Okay, now these are 2 long statements from molecular basis. In the RNA world, RNA is considered the first genetic material evolved to carry out essential life processes. RNA acts as a genetic material and also as a catalyst for some important biochemical reactions in living systems. Being reactive, RNA is unstable. This is not statement 1. These are group of statements, but all of them are true. Statement 2, DNA evolved from RNA and is more stable. Yes, and it's a genetic material. Its double helical strands being complementary resist changes by evolving repairing mechanism. Both the statements are featured in NCRT and both are true. So answer is both the statement 1 and 2 are correct. Can we go ahead? Transfer RNAs and ribosomal RNA do not interact with mRNA, which is false during protein synthesis. Yes, they interact with each other, and that's how the translation process takes place. So statement 1 is false. However, RNA interference, that is RNAi, takes place in all eukaryotic organisms as a method of cellular defense. Is a straight NCRT line, biotechnology part 2. So statement 2 is correct. However, 1 is false. Next. Again, match the column. They have given the organs and their related hormones, what they produce. Heart is atrial natriuretic factor. Kidney is a source of erythropoietin. Gastrointestinal tract secretes hormone called secretin. Adrenal cortex secretes aldosterone. So answer is 2.
All the living members of the class cyclostomata are ectoparasites, facts.
Yes.
The tryptophan produced by the bacterium is used for, correct. Second alternative, a fact. Role of the water vascular system, can we go up? Correct, is yeah, so it is respiration and locomotion and capture and transport of fluid. Correct. The other things do not exist in
Animal kingdom.
Correct.
The
So
straight line.
basically,
Yes.
it's a fact. Can we go ahead? If you see this match the pair also, it looks straight. There are examples there, and I think 4 is the alternative. 131, which are correct. There are 5 sentences they have given. Correct. A is correct and C is correct. Then we'll have to discuss why others are wrong. Chemotherapeutic drugs are used to kill non-cancerous cells. Looks stupid. Correct. So it is wrong. And D, chemotherapeutic drugs are biological response modifiers.
Alpha interferon is the biological
Correct.
modifier.
And E, in the case of leukemia, blood cells counts are decreased, no way they are increased. So they are obviously wrong. So remaining two is, so even if you don't know why two are correct, by elimination, you could have got this two as alternate. Correct, can we go ahead? What are the potential drawbacks in adoption of the IVF method? We like this question. There was a paragraph which was there. We
Last
thought it is
page,
more,
last
yeah.
paragraph,
We
yes.
thought that was more social paragraph rather than the techniques. In the last 5 years, they were asking more about ARTs and ICSIs, isn't it? Sachin?
Yes.
And more from the
Upper
embryo
four paragraphs
transfer.
are more in
But it's
vogue.
more social information they have asked. Nicely framed question, correct? But if you really go by elimination, the answer has to be 3.
B,
That is
D, F.
B, D, and F. Correct? A does not fit into. You get it and otherwise. Correct? So this is 133 then, Sachin.
Consider the following, the reductive division for the human female. This is related to human repro. Oogenesis and spermatogenesis. Reductive division for the human female gametogenesis starts early, yes, in the fetal life, and than that of the male gametogenesis, which happens at the time of puberty. Next, so this statement looks true. The gap between the first meiotic division and second meiotic division is much shorter for males compared to females. Obviously, yes. The first polar body is associated with the formation of primary oocyte, definitely not secondary oocyte should be the correct statement. So C is false. Luteinizing hormone surge leads to disintegration of endometrium, absolutely false, and onset of menstrual bleeding. So the true statements are A and B. C and D are false.
In prior fights, the gentleman has been which of the following, and I think this straight and this
Yes.
is more as the alternative. Given below are two statements. Can we take this up? The primary function of a Golgi has been asked. Correct, and the vesicles containing materials is made. This is also very straight.
Yes.
That A and R are true and R is a correct.
Back-to-back
expression of A.
statements in cell. So
So I think this is
A
again.
and
So
R are
now
true.
you have finished 45 questions. That is half the paper. Correct. How you evaluate that? All 45 NCRT based questions. Straight answers. I don't think it will
Correct.
take much time also. Barring 3 to 4 questions where you may have to think more because there are 5 or 6 statements. This looks straight. Can we go ahead?
Can we go ahead?
136.
What is the question number? 136. Which of the following statement refers to reductionist biology? This was a bit offbeat. Introduction of unit 3, the very first page of introduction, where they have mentioned about this, and the correct answer is physico-chemical approach to study and understand the living organisms. Introduction, last line. Unit 3. Next, after maturation in primary lymphoid organs, the lymphocytes migrate for interaction with antigen to secondary lymphoid organs like, so primarily they are asking which are the secondary lymphoid organs. Thymus is primary, bone marrow is primary, spleen, lymph nodes, Peyer's patches, they are secondary lymphoid organs. So CDE should be the correct answer. Can we go ahead? Again, match the column. E will quartet. This is biodiversity, cause of biodiversity loss, ex situ conservation, cryopreservation, Lantana camera is alien species invasion, and dodo is an extinct bird, so extinction. So this should be the answer for it. 4. Further, how many meiotic and mitotic divisions need to occur for the development of mature female gametophyte from the megaspore mother cell? 1 meiosis, 3 mitosis, straight on. Next.
Which of the following type of immunity is present at the time of birth and is non-specific type of a defense in the human body? And that's called innate immunity. Again, it's a straight from the chapter.
Yes.
Can we go ahead? And here comes the first ambiguity of the chapter. That's what we feel about this question. The fig fruit is a non-vegetarian fruit. Correct. So it's, we were also correct put by the short by this terminology, this framing of the question that it is a non-vegetarian fruit. Correct, and it has enclosed fig wasp in it, and the statement 2 is fig wasp and fig correct tree exhibit mutual relationship.
This statement is true absolutely from
We
NCRT.
feel that statement 2 is true, otherwise biologically also and from NCRT.
Yes.
We have no clues about this first statement, why, what exactly the person is trying to say. So we believe that first is incorrect.
Yes.
And second is correct. Because I don't know what is a non-vegetarian fruit, first of all. Try to understand.
That terminology doesn't exist.
Correct. For the, I mean, it's not an adjective of a fruit.
Yes.
Fruit can be dry, it can be fleshy, it can be dehiscent, it can be indehiscent, but there's nothing like vegetarian and a non-vegetarian fruit to the best of our knowledge.
Yes.
So we believe in a given circumstances, our answer is statement 1 is incorrect. And statement 1 is not a biological statement. I really don't want to say it's correct or incorrect. It's not a biological statement.
Yes.
But statement 2 is very much correct. However, our remark is the statement 1 of this question is a non-NCERT. I mean, this is non-biological. That's what we feel. We are not the greatest in the biology, but that's what we feel. Correct? So this question can be challenged. Later, next 15 to 20 days, you get a chance.
Yes.
NK people always give you a chance to challenge the questions, and I think we can challenge this question. I will definitely come up with a proper challenge, correct, to argue with this. This is our modest view of me and Sachin. Correct? And if we think after spending 24 years in the subject this way, the guy who's solving for in 1 minute this question, if he is put off by this question, I think you guys are normal. So if you're confused, if you're correct, you are not correct. I don't know what is going to be the final answer. I think you are correct. You're absolutely normal at the age of 17 if you're attending this question. Can we go ahead? Sachin, next one.
Yes, now this is another question which we find little ambiguous because cells of the tapetum possess dense cytoplasm, generally have more than one nucleus. Thumbs up. This is the right statement, absolutely from NCERT, and it's a factual
It's a
question.
polyploid.
Yes, it's a polyploid. Presence of more than one nucleus in the tapetum increases the efficiency of nourishing the developing microspore mother cells. Well, yes, tapetum has the function of nourishment, and biological concept says that the more the number of genetic material or amount of genetic material which is achieved through polyploidy, it will be better equipped in nourishment of the pollen grains. Definitely yes. However, this statement as such is not being featured, nor this concept has anywhere appeared in class 11th or 12th for the students. So for a student, it will be a little difficult to apprehend, and therefore we feel the answer both are true, A and R is the correct explanation of assertion. But we still believe that this statement doesn't belong to NCERT, and this concept has not been well conveyed to the students. So if you feel, you can definitely challenge this because this concept has not been featured.
Sachin, when a person gives a paper
Yes.
on a base of 2 years or whatever the school you have learned, say for 10 years, biology learned from 5th or 6th standard. I don't think this is going in that depth.
No,
right? So
no.
somebody knows it, somebody has taught that, it's a different ball game. So a biology teacher looking at it, this is our answer.
Yes.
But this question definitely, I mean, we have to ask why this question is here. This is not just the fact, there is a logic also, and there can be a controversy and ambiguity about that logic also. So I think this question also can be very nicely challenged in the due course of time in next 2 weeks.
From the statements given below, choose the correct option. The eukaryote ribosomes are ATS, 70S in prokaryote. Absolutely true. Each ribosome has 2 subunits, one small, one large. Everyone knows this. A is correct, B is correct so far. C, the 2 subunits ATS ribosome are 60S, 40S, true, while that of 70S and 70S are 50S and 30S. This is also true. Now D and E are obviously contradicting with C, so they are wrong. So answer will be A, B, and C. We don't have to read D and E because they are anyway contradicting with C, which is a correct statement.
144, one of the following enzyme contains heme as a prostate facts. Correct. Number 2, which one of the name of the blood vessel that carries BOB from the correct?
Deoxygenated blood, yes.
Frog, and answer is 2. Correct. Lot of frogs, isn't it? And 3, 4 questions. Can we go ahead? Give below are the stages in the life cycle of pteridophytes. Arrange the following stages in the correct sequence. If you
See, the meiosis in spore mother cell will happen first, followed by A, prothallus will grow out of it. B, formation of Anthridia archigonia, and E, the release of anthrozoids and archigonia, presence of water. C, fertilization. So this is the order in which the events will occur in the life cycle of pteridophytes. Can we go ahead? Yes. Statement 1. Again, biotech. The blue colored colonies have DNA insert in the plasmid and they are identified as recombinant colonies. False. Whereas second statement is exactly opposite to that. The colonies without blue color have DNA insert in the plasmid and are identified as recombinant colonies is true. So answer is first statement incorrect, second statement correct. Can we go ahead? Household products they have asked from microbes. Aspergillus niger, no, because citric acid, lactobacillus, yes. Dahi, छाछ बनता है. Trichoderma polysporum, no. Saccharomyces cerevisiae, yes. Propionibacterium shermani, yes. So answer is they have asked not involved in preparation of household. So what is not involved is Aspergillus niger and Trichoderma polysporum. So answer is A and C.
Can we go ahead? 149, silencing of a specific mRNA is possible via either because of, correct, I think 3.
Complementary
Correct. 150, the complex 2, again the fats, name of the enzyme succinate dehydrogenase. We know complex 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they have picked up the complex 2. While trying to find out the characteristics of a newly found animal, correct? Can we
The researcher did the histology of adult animal observed. This is a more application-based question where mesoderm is only on one side, absent on the other side, and that's a typical characteristic feature of pseudocoelomate.
With coelomate, it has to be
Yes.
on all the sides, correct? And a coelomate, there will not be covering. So, yes, this is little applied base. They have just made the confusion, but nice question.
Yes.
Correct? In all, definitely can be answered by NCERT and the logic. Can we go ahead?
Now, when you look at these two statements, they are exactly opposite. This is actinomorphic, there it is zygomorphic, so wrong. This is actinomorphic and this is superior ovary. So statement 1 is false, statement 2 is correct. This is how our option will be. Next. In ecosystem, there is a unidirectional flow of energy of sun from producers to consumers. Definitely yes, it's a straight line from NCERT. Ecosystems are exempted from second law of thermodynamics. Definitely not. They do obey the second law of thermodynamics. So statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Again, line pickup from NCERT, the unit of measurement of productivity, kilocalorie per meter square per year. This is how it is given and this is the correct answer. Can we go ahead? Yes, there is a cross which is shown here in F3 generation. Wherever they have put the question mark, they have asked what is the probability of the child is either male, female. Collectively, they have asked being a carrier. So by doing the cross, the probability becomes 1/4.
So you have a carrier female and you have a
Deceased.
deceased
Yes.
male, and you get 4 things, 2 males and 2 correct females, and in girl children. And if you really do that, they have never specified the gender.
If you really perform this cross, you will find there is one female who's affected. There is one male who's affected. Okay, one normal and one carrier female will be there. All right. So carrier is always a female, and out of 4, one combination you will find is of a carrier female.
We are going for 1 out of 4. There's another logic because they use the word child.
Child. Exactly.
Because when they say child, that can be male and a female. So we have considered 4 options and 1. If they would have considered their female, the answer would have been 1 by 2.
Yes.
Because I'm sure this is lingering in the minds of the students, correct? But Sachin is saying this is 1 in 4 because I think for us the keyword here is child. I'm sure cross is not very difficult.
Yes.
So this is our way of looking at it. We still believe this is NCERT, this is logic. Some words play has been done. The question is not difficult. I can say tricky on the word child.
In the seeds of cereals, the outer covering of endosperm separates the embryo by protein-rich layer. Quite the simple question, allurone layer. Line pickup.
Diagram.
Yes, there is a diagram. Again, match the column.
Colors were asked,
Yes.
they are straight colors, correct? So you know.
So chlorophyll A का color होगा blue green, chlorophyll B का होगा yellow green, xanthophyll will be yellow, carotenoids will be yellow to yellow orange. So option 4 will be the answer for this question. Can we go ahead? Again, a line pickup. Who proposed the genetic code for amino acid should be made up of 3 nucleotides? Obviously, it is George Gamow.
Histones are enriched with lysine and arginine.
Yes, basic amino acids.
Basic amino acids. Can we go ahead?
Which of the following enzymes, again biotechnology, are not essential for gene cloning? We all know restriction enzymes ke baghair we cannot work. DNA ligase definitely is, but DNA mutase has no function. DNA recombinase again has no function, but DNA polymerase definitely. So not pucha hai. So answer should be C, that is DNA mutase, and D, DNA recombinase. So answer 3 should be the correct answer. Which factor is important for termination of transcription? Yes, sigma is the initiation, rho is the termination. So answer should be 1, rho. Can we go ahead?
Fact, frog, again, which of the
Hey,
following?
one sec.
And the answer is 2. This is factual.
Yes. Quite simple.
Can we go ahead? I think we are left now with 17 questions.
Yes.
So we have covered 73, barring those two, one of fig and the other one is of tapetum. We don't think there should be much problem. Correct? If you are logically going, if you have studied your NCERT well, if you are used to the NCERT papers, correct, all throughout your 2 years, correct, by now, correct, 71 out of 73 should be straight.
Yes. This is again diagram-based question of excretory products and their elimination. There are these 4 diagrams, and if you compare it with the actual NCERT diagram, your answer should be 4, which shows selective reabsorption and tubular secretion in the same diagram in the PCT and DCT. All right. So the correct matching will be of option 4. Can we go ahead? Identify the statement that is not correct. Antigen binding site is located at C-terminal region of antibody molecule. Mind you, from this is not explicitly mentioned, but there is a diagram of antibody in your textbook, and they are obviously labeled N-terminal, where antigen binding site has been labeled. So obviously this is a wrong statement. And once you get this wrong statement, there has obviously should be one wrong statement. So others are bound to be true. Constant region of heavy and light chains are located at C terminus. Actually, this is not the statement of NCERT, but it has to be true by elimination method. Each antibody has 2 light and 2 heavy chains. This is a factual thing in NCERT. And the heavy and light chains are held together by disulfide bond. Again, a diagrammatic feature which is always given in the NCERT.
A lot of fellow colleagues may say that this 165 question is outside NCERT. We personally don't think so. We believe this is not a statement in the NCERT, but somebody has picked up the diagram from the NCERT, purposely made the first statement,
Yes.
which is wrong. Definitely the person knew there is only one wrong. Correct? It's there is a combination. You see the alternative. There is no combo of alternative. Now, once you know this is wrong, depending on the diagram, other 3, whether they are correct, this, that, why we are bothered about it? You write one. So this, I know these alternatives are not from the NCERT. Correct? These lines are not in the NCERT. And somebody can argue till the end saying this is a non-NCERT question, but we feel this is diagram based. First statement is a wrong statement. They are asking only wrong question. Statement. So as long as you write correct, the first statement is wrong, you're out. So
Yes.
2 and 3 and 4, whether you know or you don't know, they have to be correct because the first one.
Yes. Perfect.
If there would have been a combo that A,
Yeah,
B is wrong,
Five
B, C,
statement
A, 5 statement question, correct? Then we would have challenged and said, this is outside NCERT. So technically lines are outside NCERT, but me and Sachin, we feel this is based on NCERT and you should crack this. We always said that NCERT is important. Correct? The diagrams are equally important. Introductions are important. Scientists are important. Correct? Sometimes a paper of biology for 2-3 questions can be a history paper.
Yes.
And this is been happening in NEET over the last 6-7 years. So we don't personally think this is outside NCERT. This should be answered from NCERT if you know the diagram.
Yes. Again, a match the problem.
Straight.
Straight.
So number 3, but it is straight NCERT.
Scutellum. One sec. Scutellum epiblast you might not have heard of, but it is labeled in the diagram. And this epiblast is always a rudimentary cotyledon. Rest 3 you obviously know.
Yeah.
So by again elimination,
Yes.
epiblast will come to the rudimentary.
3 of them match the pair, you know.
Yes.
4th one has to match. There are not even 6 alternatives where there can be a trick. So again, correct. I know you may not know this, but why you should bother about it? Ultimately, we are here to give the answer.
Yes.
So if you say again this word is out and all, okay, fine, we can keep saying that, but I think you should get the answer. Next.
Find the statement that is not correct with regard to the structure of monocot stem. Hypodermis is parenchyma. This is false because it is sclerenchymatous.
Twins are born to a family that lives next door to you. The twins are a boy and a girl. Which of the following statement is true? They are fraternal twins. Looks good and straight. Can we go ahead? Sweet potato and potato represent a certain type of evolution. Select the one. Analogy and conversion.
Yeah,
Analogous and conversion. I think that is true.
Yes.
Next, straight from the NCR. Which one of the following phytohormones promote nutrient mobilization? Cytokinin is the answer. Plant growth.
Yes.
Correct. And it's a straight answer in the function in the paragraph of inside. Tell me
This is an in-text question which is given in biotechnology part 2.
Yeah.
They have not answered. But answer is obvious. I think in school days also you must have learned this. Why insulin cannot be administered orally? Because being a complex protein, the digestive tract will get it in the digestive tract, the protease enzyme will digest it and it will not remain intact, okay, in that original form to function for whatever it is designed
If you
for.
try to give orally, this will disintegrate.
Yes.
So if it absorbed, it is absorbed as a particles of it, and then that will not be a insulin per se. That will be amino acid. So obviously, correct. That is the answer.
It will be digested. So 4 is the answer. This is biomolecule ka question. There are 4 types of enzymes given, and it is straight transferase enzyme ka characteristic reaction is this. Next.
The DNA fragments extracted from gel in leg process and the statement 2. Again, the straight statements. Both statements are correct.
Yes.
Correct. So this is the way. I mean, we don't think there is anything tricky here. Can we go ahead? The correct sequence of events in the life cycle of bryophytes is correct. They have given the events. Correct. This is also
Attachment of gametophyte to substratum followed by E, release of anthrozoid. Similar to bryophyte, A, fusion of anthrozoid and egg, B, formation of sporophyte, and then C, reduction division to produce haploid spores.
in one paper. 2 such sequences have been
Yes,
asked.
of
This is
the
a little
back to back.
yeah, little groups. Yeah, difficult in the sense they have never done that, but
Yeah.
this time they have done it. But one can do that. This is NCR.
Next, this is
Genes R and Y, independent assortment. I think this is straight.
I mean, there is no explanation needed. This
Can we
is-
go ahead?
Yes. Each of the following characteristics represents kingdom proposed by Whittaker. Arrange the following in increasing order of complexity of body organization. If you see, each is a character of one kingdom. Like A is a character of fungi, B is a character of animalia, C is a character of monera, D is a character of plantae, and E is a character of protist. So of course the increasing order will be monera, protista, fungi, plantae, and animalia. So following that, your answer should be C, E, A, B, and B. Correct? This is how the order should be.
177 looks straight. This is matched up here. Again, there are no more options on one side. So I think you should get this. Can we go ahead? 178.
This is the equation which is in the organism and population. Straight answer, dn by dt equal to Rm, k minus n upon k. 4 is the answer. Diseases and their corresponding characteristics or symptoms. Emphysema is obviously damaged alveolar walls. Angina pectoris, acute chest pain. Glomerulonephritis, inflammation of glomeruli. Obvious answer. Tetany is rapid spasm. So answer is 2.
And last is cardiac activities of the heart are regulated by.
Yes.
Correct. And
Nodal tissue, yes. Spatial neural center in the medulla oblongata, yes. Adrenal medullary hormones, epinephrine, norepinephrine, but definitely not adrenal cortical hormones. So answer should be A, B, and C. This is a paragraph given in the circulation chapter, and it is straight pick up from there. All right. So these
so
are
these are 90 questions of biology. If you really ask us to summarize,
yes.
correct, Sachin? 88 out of 90 are straight NCRT. True. Some people can argue and say the diagram and this, that, but this is NCRT basically. So somebody should get those straight 88. About those fake question and a tapetum question, we have already said they can be challenged. However, what we feel rationally are the answers we have given. Let's await what answers come up with and how we go about it. This paper we think could have been finished, right, for those 88 MCQs in 50, 55 minutes. around 50-55 minutes. Correct? So this is the way we will analyze this paper. For those two questions, I don't know how much time is required. Correct? Some of you might have left, some of you might have attempted. Correct? And that is the way it is. Such any concluding comments?
That's it. I find the paper is pretty simple, barring those, of course, two statements. I wouldn't say two questions, but definitely, yes, it is purely NCERT based and maybe time taking for reading the long statements, etc., match the columns, diagrams, etc. But then overall, it was quite NCERT based. So it will be a good question paper, I would say, definitely. Yeah, right.
I think after this, Professor Hemal will come
Yes.
for the
Physics. Come.
You have to arrange your PPTs and all. Yeah.
Yes.
2 minutes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
ते बटन चालू करावं लाल लाईट भेटेल
Can the technical team tell us that whether they can hear or not? Will you ask, sir? Are we clear, audible? Are we seen? Correct. So Hemal sir is with me. Right at the onset, let me tell you that this is one of the most dreaded physics paper, correct, in last 20 years. That's what they are saying, that Even in AI, PMT, such physics never comes. In last correct few years, the NEET has been very strict paper. And this is not a phenomenon related to APMA or CCT. This is a across pan-India phenomenon. Tomorrow there's going to be a heading and there's going to be a lot of discussion, correct, about the physics paper, which has been set for this year. Correct. I'm not the expert, but I have an expert with me who said that he also took time to come to the solutions. There were a lot of calculations. In his lines, the famous lines, I have to say that when he says, so sometimes there is a more calculation and sometimes it's more difficulty level. This year it was more calculation and more difficulty level. So obviously people will leave certain questions because we can't finish in the time. At the same time, right, the calculations and the difficulty part of it also makes it difficult. Whatever it is, Kemal has come up with his answers and solutions and the way it is. Again, let me tell you, this is a pan-India phenomenon, and I'm not the one who is trying to protect or take the side. Tomorrow morning, every newspaper will come up with this. Every channel is going to talk about the difficulty level of this paper for a NEET and whether it should be that difficult when you are trying to go for a medical entrance. This is not a JEE advance or something. This is a medical entrance, correct? So, well, that's the way it is, but that's the paper. It has come. And you guys have given that, correct? So I think I will ask Hemal sir, correct, to what you feel is correct and what is the way solutions you look at it. Yes, look at it. Which version we are talking?
It's 47.
47. Correct. He's going to, and you have come up with the solution.
Yes.
So he has solved, correct, and he has come up with the solution. We appreciate the efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Hello, students. As Prabhu sir said, yeah, it was bit lengthy and difficult as well. Otherwise, generally you find the paper is either lengthy or difficult, but they have now mixed the two things. Anyways, but the question solutions we have tried with me, I mean the entire team, and we have come up with the solution. So let's start with this. This is a code 47, but I'll be reading the question so you can again then whatever version you have, you can match your options and questions with them. First question, it is the current passing through the battery in the given circuit is. The circuit seems to be very complicated, but if you simplify it, this is nothing but the Wheatstone's network. Can you please have the screen up? You can see the solution is here. Of course, you can later on take the screenshot and you can, and the PDF also will be provided. Then you can verify it. This is the Wheatstone's network. So with the Wheatstone's network, the 6 ohm resistance you can see in your circuit becomes redundant. So with that 6 ohm redundant, then it becomes very simple to calculate because the other resistances you can say is in series parallel, and the current comes out to be, answer comes out to be 0.5 ampere. This is first question. Okay, next question. This question, I will tell you the analysis also of the entire paper. This was the question from electromagnetic waves. I'm sorry, yeah, the first one was from the current electricity. I forgot to tell. Second question is from the electromagnetic waves. The question was, there are many questions in many reference book. This question, similar type, I mean, but it was not that difficult. The electric field in a plane, electromagnetic wave is given by. You are given the electric field Ez, that suffix is very important, Ez 60, and do not need to read this cos phi function ka part because that part is not going to change. Only the amplitude, the peak value of the magnetic field is going to change. So we have to decide for the magnetic field, the corresponding direction as well as the equation, I mean magnitude. So here you are given the magnetic field option. Can you please, can I have the screen up? Yeah. So we know that C is equal to E naught by B naught. Speed with which electromagnetic waves travels is E naught by B naught. We are given the E naught, the peak value of electric field, and the speed, so we can get the peak value of the magnetic field, that's B naught. So B naught, we calculate that comes out to be 2 into 10 raised to minus 7. With that value of B naught, there's only one option matches here, because if E electric field is in the Z direction, magnetic field must be in the Y direction. Because you know that E bar cross D bar, if you find out, if you apply the right hand thumb rule, E bar cross B bar, right? It gives the direction of electromagnetic waves in which it is propagating. So with that you get B suffix Y with this peak value. So in this code, the correct option was 2. Okay. Next question. Number 3. This was pretty simple question from waves. The easiest question that you can have. The question says a pipe open at both the ends have fundamental frequency F in the air. Pipe open at both the ends, the fundamental frequency is V by 2L. Then the pipe is now dipped in vertically in water to half its length. When you insert that in the pipe, pipe open at both ends in the water, then it becomes the pipe closed at one end. With the length becomes half. So the fundamental frequency will be V by 4L, but that L is your L dash because that becomes L by 2. So when you solve it, that frequency, fundamental frequency with half length inside the water is same as the fundamental frequency of pipe which was there in the air when it was having double length, and it is open at both ends. So answer here for this question is F only. That is the correct option is what? 3. Students, you can see some of the answers are marked and it's not matching with what I have written here because this is one of the student paper from where I have taken the questions, right? So you can verify that answer should be F. Next. Question number 4. Again, the question seems to be very lengthy and difficult, but this is a very simple question again from what the electromagnetic, magnetic effect of electric current. Sorry. Question is an electron mass charge given moving with the speed of c by 100. That's the electron ka speed given where c no it's 3 into 10 raised to 8. C by 100 is injected into the magnetic field having magnitude of 9 into 10 raised to minus 4 Tesla perpendicular to its direction of motion. When electron enters into a direction magnetic field which is perpendicular, strength is given. Question is, we wish to apply the uniform electric field together with the magnetic field such that electron does not deflect. That's the important point, does not deflect. What's the concept? When electron is in the influence, under the influence of electric field as well as magnetic field, and if it does not deflect, both the forces should balance. For that to happen, speed V should be E by V. But that speed of electron V is given by C by 100. Your formula becomes C by 100 is equal to what? E by V. So in that case, my answer comes out to be what? The 2 into 27 into 10 raised to 2. That's the answer for your electric intensity. And of course, you know that correct option from your this question will be from the option you can find out. Here, next question. That's the third. Third is the correct option. Question number 5. Pretty simple question. Optics, which always creates, it always gives you the scary image. Optics is very difficult, but this was the very simplest question from optics which was asked. Question says, in a certain camera, a combination of 4 similar thin convex lenses are arranged coaxially in contact. 4 lenses are put in contact. They are equal. Their focal lengths are same. Then the power of combination and the total magnification in comparison to the power P and magnification M for each lens will be. You are given the power for each lens P, magnification for each lens M, and the combination ka I'm supposed to find out the system ka power and magnification. We all know when the lenses are put in contact, power gets added. It becomes P1 plus P2 plus P3 plus P4. All values are same. It becomes 4 times P and magnification gets multiplied M1, M2, M3, M4. But that is same. It becomes M raised to 4. Answer should be 4 times P and M raised to 4. Right? So the correct option for this question should be what? 4. Next question. Number 6. A very simple question. So there were a few direct questions which you can, no need to give a second thought. You can easily go for it. And then, you could have saved your time in these questions. It was a 2 ampere current is flowing through 2 different small circular copper coils of radii 1:2. All right. The ratio of the respective magnetic moments. So 2 coils having different radius, we are supposed to find out the ratio of the magnetic moments. Magnetic moments is what? It's NIA. Number of turns into current. Current is same, but it should be proportional to area. But area is proportional to what? Square of the radius. So magnetic moment is proportional to what? Indirectly square of the radius. And with that you get answer as what? 1:4. Calculations are done. So it will save your time. So 1:4 again I'm telling you, do not look at this what is being taken here because that is directly the question I've taken from the students' paper. This is 1:4. 2 is the correct option. Next question. Number 7. Yes. This was a bit lengthy question. It seems to be very simple, but it was lengthy question. I'll tell you the method solution, you can see it afterwards. Question is, a constant voltage of 50 volt is maintained between the points A and B You are given the 50 volt ka battery connected across the circuit. This is 1 ohm, 2 ohm, 3 ohm, and 4 ohm resistances are given. Question is, we are supposed to find current through this branch CD. Just for the time being, can you guys imagine as if there is an ammeter connected? I'm supposed to find out an ammeter which allows current in both directions. So just imagine there is an ammeter connected and I'm supposed to get its reading. So over here, what is first thing is that first thought process should be we need to get the current. So 1 ohm and this 3 ohm, they are in parallel. This 2 ohm and 4 ohm, they are also in parallel. So we can find out the effective resistance and then total resistance and total potential difference 50 say I get the total current. That current comes out to be what? 24 ampere, right? Next, look, try to understand whatever current comes from here. Don't you agree? If I apply current divider rule, explanation I've given, I'm showing you. Whatever current comes from here, by applying current divider rule, I can get current in this branch and current in this branch. That's what I've named it as I1 and I2. Now, this current coming from 1 ohm resistance will again split into two. Think that way. I'm not again adding them. If I said this current, let's say this is I1, this current will split into two. And even this current coming from this 3 ohm resistance will also split into two. So this current coming from this 1 ohm going in the downward direction and this current coming from this 3 ohm going in the upward direction, you can find out the difference of this two current will give you the final answer. So that's what I've again tried. Can I have the screen up, please? Yes. So look here, guys, current, total current comes out to be 24 ampere. Then I have calculated current from, can I have a little bit up? Yeah. Now the current I1 and I2 which I was talking about is 18 and 6, 24 ampere will split into 18 through 1 ohm and 6 through 3 ohm if you remember the circuit. Now that current again I1 ka some fraction will flow here and I2 ka some fraction will flow here. That again I have applied current divider rule over here and we got I3 and I4 and I got the answer as 6 and 4. Uska difference should be my answer which is flowing from the CD branch that comes out to be what? 2 ampere, right? So correct answer for this question should be 2. So guys, current electricity may say you can say right now. I mean, so far 2 questions we have covered when they had asked. One was on Wheatstone network, one is simply on current divider. I can get it. Next question. Number 8. This question number 8 is from, yes, you can say it is from kinetic theory of gases. Two gases A and B are filled at same pressure in separate cylinders with movable pistons of radius Ra and Rb. On supplying an equal amount of heat to both the system reversibly under constant pressure, the piston of gas A and B are displaced by 16 and 9. There will be increase in volume. If the change in their internal energy is same, what do you mean by that? The amount of increase in temperature is same. Then the ratio of Ra by Rb. What is Ra Rb? Is the different radius of the two pistons. Clear? So this question is based on because the internal energy is same, the work done must be same. So just by equating the work done in two cases, work done is P delta V, that's pressure into volume. Pressure is also same. Volume is pi r square h. Heights are given. So I can get the relation between the radius. So correct answer for this should be what? 3:4. Next question. Again, a very simple question. I'm sure you must have got the correct answer for this because n number of times this question you must have attempted in your mock test. A container has two chambers, volume V1 and V2, that's 2 liter and 3 liters, separated by partition made of a thermal insulator. The chambers contains N1 5 and N2 4 moles of ideal gas at pressure P1, which is 1 atmosphere, and P2, which is 2 atmosphere. When the partition is removed, the mixture attains equilibrium pressure or mixture ka pressure we are supposed to find. That's P1 V1 plus P2 V2 upon V1 plus V2. So by applying that formula, we get the correct answer, and that answer comes out to be what? 1.6. That's 8 by 5. All right. Next question. Number 10. Question is: the radius of Martian orbit around the sun is about 4 times the radius of orbit of Mercury. It's a radius relation given for the two different planets about sun. The Martian year is 687 Earth days. Then which of the following will be the length of 1 year on Mercury? radius correlation given, and one of the planet ka time of revolution is given, and we have to get the time for the other. So simply it is based on the Kepler's law, T square proportional to R cube. When you solve it, this, right, with the diagram it is given, answer comes out to be what? 8. Okay. 88, sorry. Answer comes out to be 88 for the Mercury. Next. Question is from AC circuits. To an AC power supply of 220 volt at 50 hertz, a resistor of 20 ohm, capacitive reactance of 25 ohm, and inductive reactance of 45 ohm is given. XL, XC, and R is given. Connected in series. The corresponding current in the circuit and the phase angle between them will be. Guys, if you want to get the current, we all know we need to know the impedance. We are given the voltage given as 220 volt. Impedance is root of R square plus XL minus XC the whole square. By doing that, you get the impedance. R by Z will give you cos phi. From there, you get the power factor and hence the phase difference. And by doing I is equal to E by Z, you get the current. So the answer comes out to be here. Current is V by Z, that is 220 by 20 root 2. I'm getting the impedance as. So it is 11 by root 2, which is around 7.8 ampere. And the phase difference, as I said, 1 by root 2. So cos phi is 1 by root 2. So phase difference comes out to be what? 45 degree. They were asked with lead and lag, but you know XC, XL, which one is bigger accordingly, you can decide that also. Next question. Again, current electricity, guys, the third question coming up, but that's again very not difficult, simple question. A wire of resistance R is cut into 8 equal parts. When the wire is cut into 8 equal parts, each part has resistance equal to how much? 8 ohm. From this, pieces of 2 equal resistances are made by adding 4 of them are in parallel. Right, guys, when I divide the wire, cut the wire into 8 equal parts, each part will have resistance how much? R by 8. And then suppose when I say 2 parts are made from here with 4 resistances in parallel. So when I say R by 8, right, and there are 2 resistances in parallel, RP becomes what? R by 4. When it becomes R by, right, 32. Now there are 2 combinations we are combining. 2 such combinations are then connected in what? Series. It becomes R by 32 plus R by 32. It becomes what? R by 16. That's your correct answer, right? So you can verify your goal, right? So far, not that very difficult. Yeah, of course, you can say bit lengthy. It was time consuming. There are few questions which are really very tricky and difficult, but and yeah, of course, some of the questions were very lengthy. Yeah, your favorite logic gates. As we always expect one question, you can expect on this. It was asked in the form of expression, Boolean algebra. We were supposed to solve. You all can say this is the NOR gate, this is the NAND gate, and this is the AND gate. Do not, I mean, if you make a mistake here, then you can go wrong. So the output for this will be what? A plus B the whole complement. Output for this will be what? AP the whole complement. And you are supposed to take the end of this because it's an AND gate. So when you simplify this by by the Boolean algebra, that comes out to be NOR gate at the end. That working is shown over here. I said A plus B the whole complement, AB the whole complement. The A plus B the whole complement can be written as A bar dot B bar by using Boolean algebra and De Morgan's law, I'm sorry. And AB can be written as AB the whole complement can be written as A bar plus B bar by using De Morgan's law. And there's a dot over here. So again, this is being taken, this is being taken dot with both because it is distributive. So A bar dot B bar dot A bar plus A bar dot B bar dot B bar. This is clear. But B bar dot B bar, we know it is B bar only. So this is A bar dot B bar. This is also A bar dot B bar. It becomes A bar dot B bar only. In Boolean algebra, A plus A is not 2A. Right? So A bar dot B bar can be also again written as what? A plus B the whole complement. That's nothing but what? Not 2. Right? That's a correct answer. Okay. This is the straightforward question in almost all reference book. You must have solved this question, right? Question from electrostatics. 2 identical charge spheres having equal charges are separated by some distance d. Charge on each sphere is q, and the force of repulsion between them is F. So F will be what? KQ square by D square. When you imagine two spheres having same charge with some distance D. So the initial force is KQ square by D square. Then the question says one identical sphere C is first touched to A, then to B, then removed, and then what will be the new force? Now try to understand. Uncharged sphere C is when it is touched to this identical sphere A, charge will be equally divided between them because they are identical. So now they both will carry what charge Q by T. Now that sphere C having charge Q by 2 is then touched to what charge? Sphere P. So sphere B already had a charge Q. When you touch that Q by 2, Q plus Q by 2 becomes 3Q by 2. And then when they will equally divide them, then it becomes 3Q by 4. So now finally what do I have over here is on sphere A, I have a charge Q by 4, and on charge on sphere B, I have a charge 3Q by 4. And so when you multiply them, it becomes 3F by 16, and then if you take the ratio, it becomes that answer. Clear? 3F by 8. So I say finally charge here will be Q by 2 and here will be 3Q by 4. So when you take the multiplication, it becomes 3Q by 8. I mean 3K Q square by D square. So it becomes 3 by 8 times the total force, initial force, right? This is the answer. Next question. First time, I mean, I can say in vernier caliper with the main reading, along with that some zero error given, question was free. Otherwise, they have never asked this question. So again, thoda sa lengthy. Question is, you are given the 10 vernier scale division coincides with the 9 main scale division. Guys, I hope you understand and you remember from here you get what least count. Next. Question says the least division of the main scale is 0.1 centimeter. So it is 0.1 of 0.1, but it will become 0.01 centimeter. And the zero of vernier scale is at 0.1 centimeter when the jaws of vernier calipers are closed. What does that mean? Zero does not coincide with zero. Zero is not coinciding with zero means there is an zero error, and it is what? Which zero error? Positive zero error. So from the main reading, I am supposed to subtract it. Coming back to the calculation, here you can say least count I have calculated that you all know. The main reading will be what? Your observed reading is 5 because it is crossing. Plus it was 8th division in the question, it is mentioned it is coinciding. So it is 8 into 0.01, that's my least count. Minus 0.1 is my zero error. So with that number comes out to be 4.98 centimeter. Clear? Next question. Okay. Question here is, in some appropriate units, time position of the moving particle is given by this and acceleration. That's again a very pretty simple question, but thoda lengthy. Simple to understand the method. Okay, like time displacement equation, there you differentiate it 2 times, you get the acceleration. So you are given some equation t is equal to x square plus x. I differentiate it 2 times and I get an acceleration. So you can understand that you're by differentiating once, you get the velocity ka equation is framed. Again differentiating, you get acceleration, but answer when? Again you can put this value over here, and finally my answer comes out to be what? Minus 2 upon 2x plus 1 the whole cube. Right? It's just the 2 times differentiation. Next question. Which of the following options represent the variation of photoelectric current with property of light shown in on the x-axis? It is a photoelectric current versus intensity. I know photoelectric current intensity relation, they are what? Directly proportional. Less the intensity is more of number of photons will be incident on it, and that's why photoelectric current also increases. So amongst these 4 graphs, I would understand and there are 2 things. Yeah, of course, out of 4 graphs, all you can see every time the x-axis parameter is not remaining same. So in the first option, it is intensity versus photoelectric current versus intensity, and the last it was photoelectric current versus frequency. But I know frequency, photoelectric effect will not take place below threshold frequency. So A and D is correct. So out of 4 graphs, 2 are correct, and accordingly my options are made. So it should be 4th option, A and D both. Next question. A particle of mass m is moving around the origin with a constant force F pulling it towards the origin. If Bohr atomic model is applied, then the radius of the nth orbit and the particle speed v. I know radius is and the speed correlation here is, I'm supposed to find out the relation for radius and speed with the principal quantum number, here. So the solution you can just see the force here is mv square by r, which is constant. So v square is proportional to radius. We know about the second postulate mv r is nh by 2 pi. So we get the radius from here. So radius is inversely directly proportional to n by v. This first relation. Then v is proportional to r raised to 2 from here. So v is proportional to n raised to 1 by 3 because from here I know the relation between r and v. So radius is directly proportional to n raised to 2 by 3. So correct option will be what over here? 4. Next. Question is, a bow of heavy mass M is suspended by a light string of length L. If it is given a horizontal velocity, the question is something like this. The bow is suspended from the string, the system remains in equilibrium over here. If it is given a horizontal velocity, V naught, then string gets slack at some point P, making an angle theta. So from here, it is not going up to complete, it is not completing the circle in the vertical plane. It is just going up to a certain position. The total angle with the horizontal means 90 plus that angle is given to you as what? Theta. Question is the ratio of the speed V at the point P to the initial speed. You can apply what? Conservation of energy, because you are giving some speed of, velocity over here, it will have kinetic energy. When it reaches to point P, it will have what? Kinetic plus potential energy. So you are given some options here. So it's not that difficult. Mg sin theta is mv square by r. Because if you imagine this particle over here, the mg is acting down. If you resolve it, you get mg cos theta, and this is mg sin theta. So this is mg sin theta, which I am equating it with mv square by l. Theta here is of course with the I can say this theta is with the horizontal. So this will be mg cos component. I'm sorry, I beg my pardon. And this is mg sin theta. So mg sin theta is along the radius towards the center, which will provide the CPM. So from here, guys, I get V. And again, as I said, by applying conservation of energy, kinetic over here will be equal to kinetic plus potential there. We can get the one more relation, and by solving them, you get the velocity ka value. You can put it here, and we get the V by V naught. We are supposed to get V by V naught, final velocity to the initial velocity of projection, which was given V naught. So that comes out to be sin theta upon 2 plus 3 sin theta, that whole raised to half. Next question. So I can say this is either from circular motion, or maybe you can say this is based on work upon energy, because I just applied conservation of energy. This was nice question. Diagram make you understand this is a question on rectifier, right? But the important point is you are given the voltage, which is sinusoidal voltage, as 220 sin 100 pi t volt. Question is then at t is equal to 15 milliseconds. So guys, when you put here t is equal to 15 millisecond means 10 to the -3, and if you do calculation, you get that t is equal to 15 millisecond, but it must be what? The negative half cycle. So when the negative half cycle appears, it is this diode which will become what? Reverse bias, and it is this diode which will become what? Forward bias. So based on these options, we can decide the second one is the correct option. D1 is forward bias and D2 is what? Reverse bias, right? Because see, I've done the calculation here. Omega is 100, 2 pi by t. T is total time is 20 milliseconds. I'm getting from there. Now, when I say total time, because omega is being compared with 100 pi, the value which was given in the equation for voltage. So when I get total time 20 millisecond, and if the 15 millisecond you take, that is even, less than t by 2 this time. In that case, this it is more than half cycle. So more than half cycle, but it was with the negative half cycle. So based on that, we can decide it is D1 was forward reverse bias and D2 was forward bias. Right? Next. A balloon is made of material surface tension S and inflation outlet from where gas is filled in it, has small area A. It is filled with the gas of density rho and takes a spherical shape of radius R. So all parameters are given basically. When the gas is allowed to flow freely out of it, its radius changes from R to 0 in time. If speed coming out of the balloon depends on R, as R is to, some parameter given 0, then T, which was given to me as what? The time, it is a time. It is proportional to S raised to alpha, A raised to beta, and rho raised to gamma, and R is to this delta. Then what? So guys, in this type of question, of course, the proof is given here, but you are always supposed to, this is for explanation, understanding, but you're always supposed to go with what? Trial and error method. Meaning, You just find out first option all these numbers. If you put it here in the equation given, and if you verify that dimension should be equal to same as time, so that is a correct option. But the proof is written here. You know how to solve this question. Right? By solving this equation simultaneously, I get the value of alpha, beta, gamma, and delta. Right? Next. Okay. This question is from optics again. But yeah, there are, I have, there can be two different answers if you go with the approximation. Question is, a microscope has an objective of focal length 2 centimeter, eyepiece of focal length 4 centimeters, compound microscope guys, so you are given FO and FE, and the tube has length 40 centimeter, the distance between objective and eyepiece. If the distance of distinct vision is 25, generally when they give you distance of distinct vision, it is assumed that the image is getting formed at DD. And we are supposed to find the magnification in the microscope. When I say magnification, it is MO into ME. Right? So it was the magnifying power was VO by UO into 1 plus D by FA because the image is formed at DD. Now here when you actually use the method, you do the calculation for VO, UO, and if you put it in the formula, you get the answer is 125. But the same magnifying power, which is again I repeat, VO by UO into 1 plus D by FE. If you take the approximation instead of VO by UO, if I say L by FO, there is one approximation given in some of the book, then answer comes out to be 150. And numbers are nearby. 125, 150. So this can be, there can be a confusion regarding this, but let's see what is the, NTA suggests accordingly forward. Next. Calculation, as you can see, it becomes very lengthy, right? But with the approximation, that comes out to be 150, as I say. Next. Okay. Question is, two identical point masses P and Q suspended from two separate massless springs of spring constant K1 and K2 respectively oscillate vertically. Question is from oscillation guys. If the maximum speeds are same, what do you mean by maximum speed? A omega, because it's an oscillatory system at the mean position. The ratio of amplitude of Q to amplitude of P will be, and you are given in the question what the spring constant. As I said, speeds are same, that is A omega, you just have to equate, and from there you can get the relation between the amplitudes, right? Yeah, by equating the speeds A omega, you get the corresponding, and even the masses are given same, you can get the relations for the amplitudes based on their spring constants. Next.
So, in the middle, I want to just catch you up. How you rate this paper?
So this paper, I would say, student, those who have got, if you're able to attempt somewhere number between 30-35, it should be a very good number.
If I can attempt only 25, I get 100 marks. This paper is good.
Somewhere between 100, 120, if you are reaching somewhere, it should be a good score.
A lot of people are saying in last 30 years such paper was not seen. Some
Yes.
people in last 15 years. What's your experience over last 15 years for such a type of paper?
Yeah, I would say, sir, since I have seen NEET 2013 and before that the previous, it was AIPMC, CBSE, PMD. Such questions never asked. Students, those who have attempted the JEE attempt in January and April, even you must have experienced some of the questions were not even in JEE 2025. So according to me, some questions from JEE main, some questions the CET, all this, entrance exam, it was above that level of the paper.
So you mean something like advanced you are talking about?
Some of the questions, yes, sir. I'm coming to one of the question, guys. You must have attempted to understood. Question from surface tension, double differentiation. They will never ask questions on derivative integration since last 3 years. You must have seen that if you're by solving PYQs, right?
Okay.
Okay, guys, let's go ahead. So next question, number 24. The question is, parallel plate capacitor made up of circular plates is being charged such that surface charge density is increasing, but the charge in short is increasing. Surface charge density is sigma, which is Q by A. If charge increases, sigma also increases. The magnetic field, the moment you come across word magnetic field with capacitor, क्या click होना चाहिए? Displacement current. So I've written solution here, but theory, let's go theory wise. When there's a capacitor, there's a current flowing because it is being charged, right? So around the wire, there must be a magnetic field. At the same time, if you try to enclose that capacitor with some ocean surface, there can be some magnetic field because this is going to be a displacement current, but there must be a time rate at which some electric flux is changing. That also gives rise to magnetic field as per the correction given by to the Ampere's law by the maximum. So this is given correctly. Theoretical question according to me should be the fourth option when it's non-zero everywhere with maximum at imaginary cylinder surface connecting the peripheries of the fields. Next. Okay, again, a simple question I can say from magnetism. I'm sorry, from electrostatics. An electric dipole with dipole moment something, it's 5 × 10⁻⁶ given, and is kept in a uniform electric field having some magnitude 4 × 10⁵ Newton per coulomb. The dipole is then rotated through an angle 60 degree with respect to electric field, the change in the potential energy. So it is PE cos theta 1 minus cos theta 2. Simply substitute, you get the answer as what? 1 joule. Next question. There are two inclined surfaces of equal length and same angle of inclination 45 degrees with horizontal. One of them is rough and the other one is perfectly smooth. A given body takes 2 minutes as much time to slide down on the rough surface than on the smooth surface. Then the question says the coefficient of kinetic friction between the object and rough surfaces. Time taken correlation is given to on rough surfaces take what 2 times more as compared to time taken on the smooth surface. Time here will be equal to what? I mean, if I apply s equal to ut plus half it square, u is 0 because you are simply releasing it. But time taken will be equal to what? Under root 2 is 5. So guys, length भी same ही है, तो वो भी cancel होगा. It should be what? I should be equating 1 upon root of a means the acceleration on the rough surface is equal to 2 times 1 upon root of a on the smooth surface. So acceleration on the rough surface will be what? G into sine theta minus mu cos theta. By FBD you can get it. And on the smooth surface it should be what? G sine theta. So G gets cancelled and you solve it, you get what? The theta is given to 45. You get mu as what? 0.75. So first is the correct option. Next, a simple question, de Broglie hypothesis. De Broglie wavelength of an electron orbiting in n is equal to 2 state of hydrogen atom is close to n is equal to 2 they are given and I am supposed to get the de Broglie wavelength. So we know that when the electron revolves, the wavelength associated with that will be n lambda, which should be equal to 2 pi r. It should satisfy this condition, right? Number of loops should be an integer. So n lambda is 2 pi r, n lambda is equal to 2 pi r, and r is what? It is n square times r naught. I mean, n is the number. So in that it is r naught. R naught stands for what? The first orbit, right? The ground state orbit. So n getting cancelled, 1 n getting cancelled from here. I can solve it for lambda is equal to 2 pi into 2 because n is 2 into 0.052 that is given in the question. Then my corresponding wavelength comes out to be what? 0.624 nanometer. That is the third option, right? Next, question number 28. The sun rotates around its center once in 27 days. What will be the period of revolution if sun were to expand to twice its present radius without any external influence? Sun were to expand to twice its present radius. Guys, try to understand when I say sun expands, uska radius increases, uska time period of rotation will change, right? So here it is on not t square proportional to rq. It is on conservation of angular momentum. I1 omega 1 is equal to I2 omega 2. So you can understand from here 2 by 5 mr square is the moment of inertia, 2 pi by t1, 2 by 5 m, mass remaining same, radius change हो रहा है, 2 pi by t2, density is also I mean mass is remaining same here. So r square by 27, it was initial value. Radius is becoming double, 2r by t2. So t2 comes out to be what? 108 days. Next question. 29th question is expected, very simple. One question from measurement chapter. Physical quantities P is related to 4 observations AQ P square upon C root D. You are given the errors in each quantity. You know percentage error in P will be 3 times percentage error in A plus 2 times percentage error in B plus percentage error in C plus half times percentage error in D. And based on that, you can substitute. Answer comes out to be what? 13%, right? Next. The planes of parallel plate capacitor from electrostatics but bit lengthy, calculation wise. The plates of parallel plate capacitor are separated by two slabs of different materials, dielectrics K1, K2, such that the thicknesses are 3D by 8 and D by 3. But when you keep them between the two plates, the entire space is not filled by them. Then still some gap is left when there is a medium called air. Then due to this, the capacitance becomes 2 times larger than the value, then there is nothing between them. K1 is 1.25 K2, value of K1 you are supposed to find. So look at the diagram here. K1, K2 having thickness is 3D by 8 and D by 2, still some gap is left, as I said, D by 8. So here they have said with this, whatever capacity becomes C equivalent, that becomes double of this. So here you can say there are 3 capacitors in what? Series. So I can use the formula, effective formula for capacity. 1 by C effective is 1 by C1, 1 by C2, 1 by C2. So over here C1 is A epsilon naught by, D, but that is D by 8. This is A epsilon naught K1 by this, and this corresponding thicknesses and area I put here, area will remain same definitely. I get one relation for K1 and K2, and K2 also we can put because it was given 0.8 but a 4 by 5 times K1. With that you get the value of K1. As I said, calculation यहाँ से थोड़ा lengthy था, difficult. Question was not difficult. That is 2.66 is the answer. Next. Question number 31. Question says a ball of mass 0.5 kg is dropped from height of 40 meter. The ball hits the ground, rises to a height of 10 meter. The impulse imparted to the ball during this collision. I know impulse is what? Change in momentum. So when you drop a ball from certain height, I can calculate the velocity at the bottom, at the ground. When it rises to certain height, so with what velocity it must be coming up, I can calculate that. By knowing two velocities, you know the mass, I can calculate change in momentum, and impulse from here is what numerically same as change in momentum. So when you drop the body from height of 40 meter, that velocity comes out to be 20 root 2. When the body rises to certain height, you are given, then the velocity must be 10 root 2, the initial, after the collision, after the impact is made. So while knowing B and B dash, that is initial and final, we can calculate change in momentum multiplied, change in velocity, sorry, multiplied by mass is your change in momentum. That is why impulse comes out to be 21 Newton second. Next. Yes, this was a bit lengthy question in terms of calculation, and it's big question, so it takes time to understand. Two cities X and Y are connected by a regular bus service with a bus leaving in either direction every 10 minutes. This is for a bus which is given. A girl is driving scooty with a speed of 60 km per hour from X to Y. She observes that a bus is passing her every 30 minutes in the direction of her motion, means when they're in the same direction, and every 10 minutes in the opposite direction. So here I will take the concept of relative. Then in that case, the correct option for the period T, the bus service and the speed. There are two things, bus ka speed we are supposed to find and the period T. So please try to understand. Then this VB, where what I am writing the solution is velocity of the bus. And the girl is going with what speed? 1. So in the same direction when they are going, it is VB minus 1 km per minute, which is D km by 30 minutes, because that is it was passing in that direction every 30 minutes in the same direction. And in the opposite direction, it was VB plus 2. And this is what D by D means the distance that is not going to change, right? By 10 minutes. Try to understand this is 30 and then they are given in minutes. So here also we have converted that. So if I divide this VB minus 1 upon VB plus 1, that comes out to be 1 by 3. And by solving this, you get VB as 120. Resubstituting on value of VB, you get the distance also as 30 km. Alright. And then finally using bus ka speed is equal to distance upon T, the time taken, I can give the time as what? 15 minutes. Lengthy question as of course I agree with this. Next. Again, a bit lengthy question. An oxygen cylinder of volume 30 liter has 18.2 moles of oxygen. Another some oxygen is after some oxygen is withdrawn from the cylinder, its gauge pressure drops to 11 atmospheric pressure, drops to. It was not given initial what it was. drops to 11 atmospheric pressure at temperature 27 degrees Celsius, the mass of oxygen withdrawn from the cylinder is nearly equal to. You are given the constant needed here. So look, initially you are given the number of moles is 18.2. Pressure, how do I calculate? For N2, I'm talking about final pressure. It is atmospheric pressure plus Gauss pressure, because I said it is 11 times it is more. So 11 atmospheric pressure plus 1 atmospheric pressure, it becomes 1 atmospheric pressure can be put the number, it becomes 12 times around that number, that is this final pressure. Final number of moles I can calculate by using PV by RT, that comes out to be around this 14 point this, and difference of number of moles if I find N1 minus N2, that comes out to be around 3.6. Guys, I got number of moles difference, that multiplied by molar mass will give me what corresponding mass which has been removed, that comes out to be 0.116. It is lengthy and not that easy as well. Next question. This is a straightforward question. It was there in notes and it was there in almost all reference books. You all can see the circuit is given. There's a 1 Henry inductor, 5 volt cell, 2 ohm resistance. AB is a part of the electrical circuit. The potential difference VA minus VB when the current is flowing is 2 ampere and increasing at the rate of, the word important is increasing. Sometimes I may even give degrees. So you can see that I can make an equation as VA. I'm going in this direction, I'm writing the potential falls. VA minus L di by dt minus 5 minus IR minus VB is equal to 0. That's what I did. But L di by dt, my inductance is 1 Henry and di by dt is also 1 plus 1 because it is increasing. Right? This is 5 volt cell and 2 into I, current is again, yeah, here it's 2. So I get VA minus VB as I shifted this 3 terms to that side. So it is 1 plus 5 plus 4. That comes out to be what? 10. Okay. Next question. Yes, this question is nice. Question says in an oscillating spring mass system, spring is connected to a box filled with the sand. As the box oscillates, the sand leaks out of the box vertically so that average frequency and average amplitude of the system changes with time. Which one of the following schematically correct? I mean, it depicts the changes correctly. There are given some options. First thing is very clear, guys. When I said the sand is leaking at the constant rate, means the mass is decreasing. We know frequency. F is 1 upon 2 pi root of K by N. As the frequency, as the mass decreases, frequency must increase, but the omega increases with time. For sure, right? But afterwards, it may become constant because mass will become constant after the complete sand comes out of it. Now, as the mass decreases, as you know, the mass means it is the inertia it decides. The energy also must decrease. You can say the mass is coming, the sand is coming out vertically at the constant rate, but the kinetic energy is more. So corresponding, I can say energy here must be decreasing for the with respect to spring. So as this energy decreases, amplitude also decreases. Omega increases. So omega increases and amplitude decreases must be this correct option as the graph is third. Right? Next question. Okay, nice question. Again, not that easy. A model for quantized motion of an electron in a uniform magnetic field states that the flux passing through the orbit of electron is NH by E. This is the flux given to you, phi. I hope you guys understand flux is equals to what B into A area, and this flux is given to me as NH by E. H is a Planck's constant, E is the, you all know the things properly. The magnetic moment of an electron in its lowest energy state will be lowest, but if I can take n equal to 1, I'm supposed to get the magnetic moment, means capital M. Right? So I know the gyromagnetic ratio E by 2, which is magnetic moment upon angular momentum. So let's try to get the angular momentum. So question starts with mv square by r is equal to EVB. It's just in a uniform magnetic field, electron is revolving. So mv square by r is EVB, which is mv, and that mv is equals to ERV. One v gets cancelled, right? Into pi r by pi r. This is just to get the area somewhere and get the flux there. That's why just one multiply and divide by pi r here. So mv comes out to be E upon pi r into pi r square. This is your area. This is your b. That's your flux, and flux in the question is given by NH by E. So from here I get mv. You shift this r to that side, I get mvr, which is NH by pi. That's my angular moment. Now what is magnetic moment? It is E by 2m into L. E by 2m, remember that's a gyromagnetic ratio. So E by 2m ka value, I mean NH by pi, I've substituted L over here. E by 2m into NH by pi, that comes out to be magnetic moment from here comes out to be He upon 2 pi n. Okay, next question. Question number 37, a very simple, straightforward question from gravitation. It was like a bonus question, right? Bonus butter, not marks to all. Bonus butter, jackpot question. Question here is you are given two different heights. I mean, you are given to one weight on the earth surface, and at certain height you are supposed to get the weight. So GH, what is the relation of small g? Same is for the weight also. So GH is G upon R, G into R upon R plus S the whole square. Height is given to me as R by 3. So by substituting this, you get it as what? 3 by 4 the whole square, that is 9 by 16 times. That's the same relation for the weight. On the earth surface, it was weighing 48 Newton into 9 by 16 comes out to be 27 Newton. Next. Difficult. This was according to me. Consider a water tank shown in the figure. It has one wall at x is equal to L and can be taken to be very wide in the z direction. So z direction I have to understand. X is equal to L, there is a wall tank and it is expanding like this. It's very wall. I mean in the z direction it is expanding up to very high value. When filled with the liquid of surface tension S, density rho, this parameters you just can even based on the parameters units you can easily solve. Density rho, the liquid surface makes an angle theta naught, which is very small, with theta naught very small, but sin theta is nearly equal to tan theta. It makes a very small angle. You can see here it is making a very small angle with the x-axis at x is equal to L. Means that's a, I can say, angle of contact. The height of the surface then height for the height of the surface then equation for y of x is, means you are supposed to get the equation for this. So can I say now please? Can I say change in pressure? Remember P delta P, which is nothing but equal to S by R. S is the surface tension given over here, R is the radius. It was 2T by R or 4T by R, just let's say proportionality. Now theta in the question itself is given dy by dx. Here. By differentiating theta with x, you get this called double differentiation d2y by dx2. This d theta by dx, assuming that x is equal to r theta, this is r d theta. D theta did cancel, I get 1 by r is equal to this d2y by dx. But guys, remember delta p was s by r. So I got 1 by r value itself over here, I put it here. So delta p is equal to s is equal delta p is equal to s surface tension into d2x by d2y by dx2. But this pressure is rho gy, which is equal to s into this. From here you get this double differentiation as what? Rho gy by this. That's your correct option number 3. Next question. A question from wave optics based on polarization, Mell's law. The intensity of transmitted light when a Polaroid sheet placed between the two cross Polaroids at 22.5. Means you can understand there are two cross, but there are two perpendicular Polaroids, and in between I am keeping one more, which is making 22.5 degree with one of them. Let's say with the vertical one. Means I have taken the coordinate from the polarization axis. If I node is the intensity, listen properly, is not the unpolarized light. I node is the intensity of light passing through the first Polaroid. Right? So please try to understand. There is the intensity I node over here. Generally in the booklet they give you, in the books they give you I node over here, then we take I node by 2. This is my first Polaroid. But your node itself is given I node. So what is this intensity going to be equal to? I node into cos squared. I'm taking it as theta initially, 22.5 is for theta 0. If this is theta, then this angle is going to be what? 90 minus theta. So I2 must be I1 into cos square 90 minus theta, right? That cos square 90 minus theta comes out to be sin square theta. What was I1? It was I0 into cos square theta. Put it over here. Now, sin 2 theta is 2 sin theta cos theta. That's what now I'm trying to adjust. So by multiplying by 4 over here. So this is sin square 2 theta. But guys, that theta was 22.5. Uska double becomes 45. Sin square 45 is 1 by root 2 ka square. That's 1 by 2. So I naught by 2. It becomes what? 8. 4 to 7. Right? Next question. Number 40. Not difficult. You have solved this kind of questions many times. A photon and electron, when I say photon, I use energy is hc by lambda, right? A photon and electron, and for this I can use de Broglie hypothesis. Have same energy, that's a hint given, same energy. The ratio of wavelength of photon to wavelength of electron will be, you want to get that. So question here is, photon energy is hc by lambda. So from here, lambda and electron lambda is h by d with the de Broglie's hypothesis root of 2ab. So when I take the ratio of the, this is of course for the photon. When I say the ratio of the photon ka wavelength to the electron ka wavelength, photon ka wavelength from here will be hc by ep, and wavelength for electron will be will be equal to root of this h upon under root 2me. Energies are same, so I can take this ratio inside, this value inside. So this, so only c will be left over here, and you h will get, I mean, you take this e inside, it will be equal to under root 2m by capital E. So that's my answer over here. It is under root c into root of 2m by u. Clear? Next. Again, question on polarization from wave optics, but a very simple question on Brewster's law. This was again a jackpot. An unpolarized light beam traveling in the air incident on the medium of refractive index 1.73. That's root 3. What is Brewster's law? Mu is equal to tan of IP. You are given mu as root 3, so angle must be what? 60 degree. Then based on that, we are supposed to decide theoretic options here. So you know that reflected light is going to be completely plane polarized light. And angle of incidence is always equal to what angle of reflection. So it must be 60 degree. So accordingly, I get the 2 as the correct option. Next. 42. A question from either I can say friction, or I can say laws of motion, I can say, rotation. A uniform rod of mass 20 kg, length 5 meter, leans against a smooth vertical wall, making an angle 60 degree with it. The other end resting on the rough horizontal floor, the friction force that exerts on the rod will be. So, question here is, you can see this is the rod which is lying horizontally, having its weight centered over here. Total length of the rod is 5, so it's 2.5, 2.5. There is a normal reaction over here because it is supported. There is a frictional force here because it is not allowing this rod to, slide like this. And because it is supported with the smooth wall here, there can be normal reaction here also. So N1 and frictional force should balance, and N2 and mg should balance. So if I can find out N1, there is the same value for the friction force, and this type of question will be so on. So I am taking moment about this particular point. So for this two forces, I hope you understand the moment becomes 0. It is mg. Mg, if you take this, should be the perpendicular distance, that is 2.5 cos 30. And N1, the perpendicular distance should be what? 5 sin 30. So by equating their moments, the frictional N1 comes out to be 100 root 3. That is the same value for the frictional force as well, 100 root 3. Next question. This was lengthy, not difficult, but lengthy. You can see there are 3 conductors, they are identical, meaning their area and their lengths are same. 3 identical heat conducting rods are placed in connected in series. Thermal conductivities are 2K, K and 2K. The left end of this is maintained at 3T, and this is at T. So we are just supposed to find this T1 minus T2. Guys, if you keep these all rods in series, the heat will remain same now. So heat ka formula is H is equal to what? Ka delta theta by L. But A by L is same for all. So I'm just equating heat passing from all. There should be 2K, the first block, and the difference in temperature must be 3T minus T1. So 2K into, it's K delta theta basically. 2K into 3T minus T1, K into T1 minus T2, 2K into T2 minus T. All these 3 terms are same. So by equating these two, we get equation between T1 and T2. By equating first and third, we get one more equation between T1 and T2. And by solving these 2 equations simultaneously, I get T1 and T2 for value as T1 is 2.5T and T2 is 1.5T, sorry. So 2.5 on 1.5, that comes out to be 5 by 3. Okay, next question. Simple one, I can say this is simple one. The kinetic energies of the two similar cars A and B are 100 and 225. On applying brakes, car A stops after 1000 meter. When you want to apply the brake, you have to do the work to stop the car. That work must be same as what change in the kinetic energy. So that's what is given 100 and 225. Applying brakes, car A stops after 1000 meter and B stops after 1500 meter. Then the force will be. So work done is force into displacement, distance. I mean that distance is stopping distance, and then work done must be nothing but change in kinetic energy. So by equating W0 to FD and writing W as delta Ke, we can get the distance ratio because kinetic energies are what? I mean, sorry, force ratio because energy and distance relation is given. So this number comes out to be what? 2:3, the ratio of the forces. Right? Next question. This is the last one. Again, lengthy but not difficult. Question is a sphere of radius R. This is a smaller one. Is cut from the larger solid sphere of having radius 2R. We have done this kind of question. One small part is being cut from the disc and removed. Now this is from the sphere you are removing. So I need to take the mass per unit volume ka concept. So you know that mass for this, let us say it is m, and you know this volume, right? It is 4/3 pi 2R the whole cube. From there we are have to subtract the if you want to get this mass, I have to correspondingly multiply this by the volume. So by using mass per unit volume into corresponding volume of the removed part, I get the removed part ka mass is what 1/8 because radius is what half. Now finding the moment of inertia of the main sphere about diameter, that is 2/5 m2r the whole square, that comes out to be this. If I find out the removed sphere ka moment of inertia about its own axis, it comes out to be this, right? And I need to subtract that from the for the removed sphere, it is 2/5 m/8 into r square. It's a moment of inertia about its own axis, and about that main axis, if you want to find out, I have to apply what parallel axis theorem. That is m/8 into r square. That comes out to be this. Therefore, the moment of inertia of the remaining part, I can now do subtraction. If you have the moment of inertia about same axis, the remaining clear from the main one, I have subtracted this value what I got, and then we are supposed to find the ratio of the moment of inertia of the removed part to the remaining part. So that comes out to be what 7/57. Students, with this we complete the paper. And small discussion I will be taking just for 2 minutes. With this, I can say this paper has how many questions? According to me, the easier number of questions are 21. According to me, the medium level questions where you need to think and solve and is 19, and really difficult, tougher one were 5 questions. So overall paper was lengthy and difficult both. You can see measurement. I'm just giving you the analysis. From measurement chapter, there were 3 questions. Motion in 1D or a plane, there were 2 questions. Laws of motion, friction, there were 2 + 2, 4 questions. No questions from elasticity. Fluids, there was 1 question. No question from sound. From waves, there was 1 question. Circular motion, 1. Rotational motion, 2. Oscillations, 2. Gravitation, 2. Thermal, 1. KTG radiation, 3. Thermo, 0. So overall NCERT 11th, if you see, there were 22 questions. It was equally balanced, right? From paper 2, there were 23 questions. You can say electromagnetic, there were 2. Total 3, sorry. Electrostatics. Current total, there were 3 questions. Magnetism was 1. Magnetic effect 1. EMI AC 1 each. Electromagnetic waves 2. Electrons, photons 2. Atoms, nuclei 3. Semiconductors 2. Optics 2 and wave optics 2. So this was the analysis, right? And you can see your score, and let us hope for the best for your results. Okay, all the very best. God bless. Thank you.